It's Memorial Day 2014. It's a day for respect, a day for honoring those who gave their lives for our country, a day of remembrance. And at Citi Field, it is a day for baseball as we remember. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Pittsburgh Pirates. And a pleasant good afternoon and a happy Memorial Day, everybody. I'm Gary Cohen, alongside Keith Hernandez as the Mets open a three-game series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the Pirates coming to town means the return of Ike Davis. It was about 6 weeks ago that the Mets finally made their choice, kept Lucas Duda, traded Davis to the Pirates, and Ike has thrived since the trade was made.
Well, he's played 32 ball games. He's been kind of platooned. He's 0 for 15 against the left-handers, but he's hitting over 300 for the Pirates. And there he is right there. Gosh, 2010, only 4 years ago. Look how young that face is. This game will age you when you struggle. But he has certainly found a new home, a new comfort level. He was welcomed in Pittsburgh. The power numbers aren't there, and that's the injury right there in Colorado when he was on a roll, red hot. That was the most unfortunate injury for Ike, Gary.
Well, he came back the next year, had a terrible first half, but hit 32 home runs. Had the bad first half last year. Then he got hurt late in the season. And then ultimately the Mets just had to make a choice.
And they made the choice of Lucas Duda at first base. And Lucas has been kind of struggling lately. The last series in particular, he's left a lot of men on base. And it's kind of ironic that Ike is in right now. And the two of them, there's the numbers, the contrast. Well, actually, there's hardly any contrast. They're pretty much a comparison here. Pretty much equal numbers, Gare, except the Ike is hitting much higher average, getting much higher on-base percentage. But these are two guys, the power numbers aren't there. And these are two guys that I think for them to thrive and have a long major league career, they've got to hit for power.
Well, it's interesting to talk to Ike as he comes back, and he's obviously under a lot less pressure in Pittsburgh than he is here in New York.
Well, it's different playing in New York. Everything is under a microscope after every game. Lucas had the very tough day the first 2 days ago, and he had to answer the press, which I thought he was wonderful. He accepted that he had a bad day. Well, Ike over in Pittsburgh, that doesn't happen. You only have one paper in Pittsburgh. So it's a different feel there. It's a lot more pressure-packed to play here in New York. We all know that.
And the Pirates trying to duplicate what they did last year when they had their first winning season in 21 years as they are struggling this first half of the season. For the Mets today, Jacob deGrom makes his third major league start. He hasn't had a win the first two, but he's pitched awfully well.
I think he's pitched wonderfully. And his last start, he got victimized by the 3 home runs, gave up the 3 solo home runs, and he went 6 innings and 3 runs. But the first start against the Yankees was superb. I thought he threw good his last start. He's looking for his first one. He just hasn't, like a lot of pitchers, gotten a lot of run support.
Both teams wearing the special camouflage uniforms today on Memorial Day in New York. It's the Mets and the Pirates. All the action coming your way on SNY. ago, a slew of military personnel throwing out multiple first pitches.
And good ones. Good form.
New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Geico. By Cholula Hot Sauce, the hot sauce with the iconic wooden cap, available in original flavor, chili lime, chili garlic, and chipotle. By Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on the most exciting lineup ever. Shop at choosenissan.com. By Delta. Delta offers the most Wi-Fi equipped planes. Delta, keep climbing. And by your Tri-Honda dealer. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2014 models. Follow every Mets game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Mets.com today. AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet or Instagram your photo using hashtag SNYFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown later during today's game. Jacob deGrom making his way in from the bullpen, looking for his first big league win in his third big league start. Mets and Pirates, same record. 3-game series starting in moments. Pepsi encourages all baseball fans to stop and honor our men and women in uniform in light of Military Appreciation Day. Pepsi proudly supports our troops. Here's your Hyundai Pirates starting lineup. Pirates had a 4-game winning streak, stopped by the Nats yesterday. Josh Harrison's been a real spark plug at the top of the order. Neil Walker hitting for more power than ever. Andrew McCutchen, the reigning National League MVP. As the Pirates come to town, 5 games under 500. And they score off against the Mets today as Jacob deGrom makes the start.
Well, young Jacob, hard luck pitcher thus far. Only 2 career starts. Very young in his career, obviously. Interesting to note, the left-handers are only hitting 125 against Jacob. 3 for 24. He's been very tough on them. And then we'll take a look at your Metsy defense. There's a big brass right there. Boy.
Talking about Terry?
That's too big, but you're right. The Lexus Mets defense. Curtis Granderson, 2 straight starts out in left field. Abreu getting his 6th start out in right. Flores again on the infield at shortstop. Duda, Wright, and Murphy are regulars. Centeno gets the start today. Centeno, excuse me.
Clint Hurdle, one-time Met, took his team to the postseason for the first time in ages last year.
Clint was the cover of Sports Illustrated, the spring issue, if you recall, his rookie season when he came into the league, highly touted rookie for the Kansas City Royals, and it never really worked out for him.
Had a long tenure as the skipper in Colorado, and now in his 4th season with the Pirates. Pirates won 94 games last year. Won the wild card in the National League, beat the Reds in the wild card game, and then had a 2-1 lead in the LDS against the Cardinals, and then Waka and Wainwright got him, and the Cardinals beat him to move on. Josh Harrison leads off. First pitch by DeGrom, a fastball for a strike, and we're underway. Harrison's been playing right field every day for about a week now. This is only the 16th game he started, but he's had a huge impact, hitting .347 in the games he's led off. Look how far from the plate he is.
Jeez. He steps right in.
And DeGrom quickly ahead of him, 0-2.
He's a kid that came up. His career started, minor league career in 08. Was an all-star pretty much all the way up. 300 hitter.
University of Cincinnati product. Mostly an infielder coming up, but he plays everywhere now. And DeGrom misses inside, 1-2. Neil Walker on deck. Andrew McCutchen behind him. Pirates are starting a long road trip that'll take them out to the West Coast after this stop in New York. DeGrom's 1-2, and he bounces the slider, 2-2.
Well, both teams have mirror records, 22 and 27. The Pirates, as Gary mentioned in the open, off to a really tough start. Have slowly, gradually turned it around. They're 5 games from getting back to 500. That's your first goal when you're under 500. Get to 500. That's then work from there.
2-2 to Harrison, and it's off the plate, 3-2. Well, the Pirates are about the same offensive team they were last year. The difference this year is they're just not pitching. There's Ike Davis getting ready for what he hopes will be a first inning at bat. Looks very strange in that Pirate black.
Well,
3-2, and Harrison chases strike 3. So DeGrom fans the first man to face him with some help.
A little cutter. No, just a straight fastball. He just went after a bad pitch. Way out of the strike zone. And you see where Centeno had to backhand it.
So 1 out and nobody on now. Neil Walker. Walker all of a sudden has become a big power threat. He's got 10 home runs this year. He finished strong in the power department last year. And he takes a strike. Walker, since September 19th of last year, has 16 home runs, which is 1 off the major league lead. Only Troy Tulowitzki, who has 17, has hit more since that September date last year. And a good changeup by DeGrom. 0-2.
Well, of his 10 home runs, 9 have been against right-handers. And there's a good sinking change. I remember, no one's seen DeGrom. They can look all they want on the computer. There's no substitute to getting up to the plate and actually seeing the stuff. So, you know, first time through the league, DeGrom's going to have an advantage. And here's last year's MVP.
Off to another terrific start this year. It's Matt Dendecker, who just joined the team today. Dendecker brought up with Eric Young Jr. going on the disabled list with a hamstring strain. So Dendecker will be the Mets' only left-handed bat off the bench today.
I thought Montero yesterday threw wonderfully, and I think the reason why I was a little bit worried early in his start, because he likes to throw away, but he started pitching inside yesterday, and that made him really effective.
By far Montero's best start. 10 strikeouts, 2 hits in 6 innings. Walker lines one the other way, and Granderson will have to play it on a hop, and so Walker has a 1-out hit.
Well, good hitting. 2 strikes. That's knee-high outside corner. That is nothing you can do but that. You try to pull that, you're just going to roll it over. That's just good hitting. And that's the lost art. That's why there's a lot of strikeouts, because guys continue with 2 strikes. I know our colleague Ron Darling had a cow on the air yesterday about this. Gross was the term, I believe. I must say that I laughed.
I bet you did. Here's McCutchen, one of the best players in the game. McCutchen, now in his 6th year. The Mets saw him in his debut. That was June of 2009. And he's only gotten better and better. Finished 3rd in the MVP balloting 2 years ago, when he probably had a better year than he did last year. Last year won the MVP in dominant fashion.
It's something to be proud of. I bet you anybody that ever came up into the game never dreamed that they would be a most valuable player. And it's just such a high honor.
First hit in the major leagues came against Mike Pelfrey in that June start back in 09. Had 2 hits in that first game.
There's a first-round pick that panned out.
Toward the hole, a base hit from McCutchen, and the Pirates have 2 men on.
Very, very, very quick inside McCutchen. Fast bat. That's just quick. He swings level too.
An overwhelmingly positive reaction for Ike Davis.
No, let's see if Ike has made any changes in his stance. There you see his numbers for the month. The power numbers aren't there. Remember, his rookie year, but he had 19 home runs. Had the great second half where he hit the 32 the one year, and then he had an injury when he was red hot in Colorado. Just kind of hasn't come back from that.
Ike at 285 overall, only 3 home runs. 2 on and 1 out. And DeGrom bounces one, and Santana able to block it. Ike was a #1 draft pick for the Mets back in 08, made his big league debut in 2010. It was early in that 2011 season that he got hurt in Colorado. Had the bad first half in 2012, had the good second half. Bad first half again last year, got sent down, came back, made more contact, drew some walks, but the power has really never returned. 2-0 now.
Well, I've noticed one thing already. Ike is not as spread out at the plate. I'm assuming that the hitting coach Jeff Branson has brought his legs back closer together, and I think that is the proper thing to do. Not so spread out deep in the box.
And DeGrom falls behind him 3-0. This is the one thing that Ike has done better since he came back from the minors last year. He's not chasing. He's allowing pitchers to work out of the strike zone. He's drawn a lot of walks.
He looks more balanced, what I've seen thus far, taking those breaking balls in the dirt.
On 3-0, he takes a strike.
You know, things can snowball when you're going bad, and you can't get out of your own way, and it can snowball. And it's a lot more difficult playing here with all the media as opposed to playing in the Midwest, in smaller venues.
There's a strike. Well, it's not just the media, it's the overall fervor of the fans. And Ike had a great line today. He said, the difference playing in Pittsburgh is I can go for coffee at 9 o'clock in the morning and nobody's giving me hitting tips. You know, fans are so passionate in New York. Everybody wants to help. In Pittsburgh, they kind of leave them alone, at least so far. 3-2 to Ike with 2 men on. The runners go with a pitch outside for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And so DeGrom's got himself an early crisis.
Well, we'll take a look here at Ike's first at bat. First pitch, breaking ball down and in, taken 1-0. Fastball away, just misses. 2-0. Another fastball away. Fastball for a strike, 3-1. Fastball knee high outside corner for a strike, and then a fastball up and away, ball 4. So predominantly stayed away from Ike.
Dan Worthen out for an early conversation. DeGrom has been able to survive the first inning quite nicely in his first 2 starts against the Yankees and the Dodgers.
There's Laz Diaz.
Rookie umpire Clint Fagan at first. A very young crew. The crew chief is Jeff Nelson. He's at second, and Scott Barry at third. Well, let's see. DeGrom's first 2 starts were against the Yankees and the Dodgers. So now he'll face a former Yankee and Dodger. Russell Martin, recently back from the disabled list. Had a hamstring injury that kept him out a month. Did not go out on rehab, but has swung the bat very well in the couple of games he's played since returning.
He's very much underrated. He was a big part of that club's success last year. The veteran behind the plate drove in a lot of big runs.
Bases loaded, 1 out. And Martin takes one off the plate for ball 1. Walker at third, McCutchen at second, Davis at first with 1 out. Martin's only had 67 at bats this year. 3-time All-Star. And fouled off. That one caught Centeno. 1-1.
That was a big cut right there. Big cut. And rightly so. 1-0, bases loaded. You got a pitcher in trouble. 2 base hits and then a walk. Doggone right. 1-0. You're going to get a fastball, and you get it. Take a hack.
That's why they wear masks. Martin, now 31 years old, will be a free agent at the end of this year. Signed a 2-year deal with the Pirates, and it's worked out quite nicely. It was great for their pitching staff last year, in addition to his offense.
Same situation. The 1-0 count is the same as a 2-1 count with the bases loaded early in the game. Pitcher struggling. This is another good pitch to hit. Don't get over anxious. Get a nice fastball. Relax.
Pedro Alvarez, big slugger, waiting on deck. Big pitch for DeGrom here on 2-1. And Martin fouls back the fastball. 2-2.
Well, right down Broadway, another big cut and under it. Right down the middle, Gary. Oh boy, you want that one back.
Well, the count makes such a difference in terms of the hitter's success.
Well, yeah, it's elementary, my dear Watson, huh?
Get to 2 strikes, even a 2-2 count. The batting average is 178, and that's where you are now. 2-2 coming from DeGrom. Breaking ball, fouled off.
I'm more interested at 2-2 is so low, Gary. I wouldn't have thought that.
I think that's one of the things that's changed. I would bet that average used to be much higher.
And 3-2.
Right.
To me, that's advantage hitter. 3-2, particularly with men on base. Now, obviously, this is the whole shebang here. Doesn't break it down to men on base.
Again, the 2-2, and he just missed. Full count to Martin with the bases full. This is today's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, by the way.
This is a dicey pitch coming up. Now, DeGrom is having trouble getting a lot of sink on his fastball early. Maybe it's because of his arm where he's releasing the ball, maybe a little bit 2 3/4. Maybe needs to get more on top.
2 hits and a walk have loaded the bases. 3-2 coming to Martin. Hit down to third. Chance for 2. Murphy with the turn. Double play. Side retired. DeGrom makes a big pitch, and the Mets are able to turn 2. Murphy, who couldn't handle Wright's throw yesterday in the 9th inning, handles it perfectly this time and doubles up Russell Martin to get DeGrom through the top of the 1st. No score on Memorial Day. David Wright's been red hot, 11 for his last 19. Bobby Abreu gets his second straight start in right field. Wilmer Flores at short today. Juan Centeno behind the plate. The Mets will face Brandon Compton, a rookie right-hander, for the first time.
Brandon Tyler Compton, born in Augusta, Georgia, went to Georgia Tech, made his debut last year on the 15th of June. Had two starts this year thus far. 0-1 with a 4.26 earned run average, and we'll take a look at the Coors Light defense. And of course, you've got the MVP out there in center field who can go get him too. Infield, Neil Walker has been there forever. Ike, of course, the first baseman.
Ike's wearing a different uniform.
And Ike looks.
They're all wearing the black, and Ike's wearing the white. What's up with that?
Oh, that's right. He's not on the road. He's got his homers on. And there's Russell behind the plate. There he is.
Well, he's in the right uniform now. Just in our graphic, he was wearing the wrong one. The umpires are gathering, and I'm not exactly sure why.
Crew chief Jeff Nelson. I have no idea what they're discussing.
Whatever it is, they seem to have figured it out. Here's an oddity for you. The starting pitchers today, Brandon Compton for the Pirates, Jacob deGrom for the Mets. They were both picked in the 9th round of the 2010 draft. 5 picks apart. Compton was the 267th pick, deGrom the 272nd in that same draft of 2010.
And here they are matched up against each other.
Juan Lagares just 1 for 13 in the series against Arizona. Leads off again today and takes outside from Compton. Compton averages about 92.7 on his fastball. Good slider. Fastball for a strike, 1-1. Lagares, Murphy, and Wright trying to get the Mets started in the opening inning. Mets scored just 7 runs in their 3-game series against Arizona, dropping 2 of 3. Lagares drops down the bunt, a beauty. Alvarez with the bare hand play, and he throws it away. And Lagares heads for second. Walker backs up. His throw is not in time. And Lagares hustles his way into scoring position. I don't know what happened to Alvarez, but that was just a horrible throw. It was 20 feet wide.
Wow. A ball got away from him. Now you're going to throw a sinker here, so you want to throw on the left side of the bag. And he doesn't even throw it right at. That's not even close. Walker almost made a nice play here. He made a good throw. He'll be close at second.
Well, it's going to be a bunt single for Lagares, even though a good throw would have had him. And then the 11th error of the year on Alvarez. So the Mets immediately with a runner in scoring position for Murphy, who was 6 for 13 in the series against the Diamondbacks. Had 3 hits in the second game yesterday, including driving in the insurance run in the 8th. After that big error in the first game cost the Mets. David Wright on deck. So this is Compton's 8th career start. He had 5 starts last year. Pitched very well for the Pirates, 2-1, 2.05. And now his 3rd start of this season, his first since May the 1st. And Murphy takes one the other way. In comes Marte, and he gets there for the first out. A lot of speed in that Pittsburgh outfield with Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen, and Josh Harrison. They will cover a lot of ground.
Early in the game, when you're a 2-hitter, Murph has not been a good situational hitter early in ball games. He's been kind of going left field. That's a ball and at bat early in the game where you want to get something that you can pull. You want to drive in the runner. That's the ultimate with a base hit to right field. Or the least amount is you at least advance the runner.
It was Rick Sofield, the Pirates outfield coach, positioning the outfielders. David Wright's riding a 9-game hitting streak, hitting .444 over the 9 games. Now has 27 RBIs for the year.
Be very curious. The new ball club in town, you get a feel for how they're going to pitch the hitters. I always, if they pitch me one way the first game of a series, I kind of say, okay, the book on me is this. You know, you can kind of anticipate how they're going to pitch you the rest of the series.
Right at the second baseman. Walker makes the play on right for the second out as Lagares goes to third. So a runner at third with 2 out. Curtis Granderson will try and get it in. Curtis went hitless in the doubleheader yesterday, but reached base 4 times, 3 walks and a hit by pitch.
Well, it would be nice for the Mets to get off to a good start with runners in scoring position, wouldn't it? They had such a dismal day yesterday, and that particularly the first game. My gosh, it was painful to watch.
First game, 10 left on base and 5 double plays. Second game, even in the win, 13 left on base and a 4-2 win.
It's just it's been epidemic, really, with the hitting in the clutch. The Mets are still struggling to score runs.
Lagares at third and 2 out. And Granderson takes inside.
Interesting. They're pounding first 2 pitches inside to Grandy.
Now the Pirates are not over shifting the way most teams have. The shortstop Mercer playing on the left side of second. Haven't seen that a lot.
They're going back in. That bled out over the plate.
Bobby Abreu hitting 5th in the order would be next.
See, that's a mistake right there. When you got to recognize a guy's a sinker ball pitcher, that he comes in and it starts on the inside corner, you got to anticipate the break over the middle.
Because if he comes in at your belt like that, then it might be a strike.
Yeah, that's the that is the pitch that you. And it's 4 straight pitches inside to Granderson. That's a surprise. Okay.
Which is only surprising because they're playing him not as much to pull as most teams do.
Not a real hard thrower out there. Just
got him with a slider. So Compton strikes out Granderson and works around the error by Alvarez. Mets strand a runner at third. No score after 1. Granted free admission on this Memorial Day.
interesting. I never realized. I'm sure those are Navy uniforms, but they have different medals on their helmets. I guess I don't know what emblems on their hats. You can see upper hand. It's a different one. I would like to know what they represent. I wonder if that's the Coast Guard. I think it's the Coast Guard. That's the Navy.
I have full trust in you on these matters.
I'm going to research that
after the game.
After I got to focus here.
Pedro Alvarez leads off in the second against Jacob deGrom, who got himself in and out of trouble in the first inning. 27 pitches to get there. Alvarez hitting just .209, but 9 home runs, always a big power threat. Kid who grew up in New York, went to Horace Mann and then on to Vanderbilt. 36 home runs, 100 RBIs a year ago, but never a high average hitter.
Not hitting in the clutch at all this year. It seems like he's become all or nothing as he gets a base hit.
We got some there, which is between all and nothing. Leadoff hit for Alvarez. And, well, since 2012, he's tied with Giancarlo Stanton for the most home runs in the National League. That's what he's capable of. But he's also struck out more times than any hitter in the league. So a leadoff base runner for the Pirates, and DeGrom finds himself right back in trouble. Here's Starling Marte, who has done a lot of leading off for the Pirates this year, hitting 7th in the order now, batting at .258. He's struck out 57 times this year.
That's a lot,
which is the most on the Pirates.
Oh, it's epidemic. I know I'm used that word twice. I can't think of a better word, but it's
pandemic.
Yes, thank you. It's permeated the league.
Alvarez will sneak a steal every now and again. Got to keep an eye on him. And DeGrom misses inside. 1-1 to Marte. Alvarez always seems to hit when he comes back to New York. He's now 10 for his last 21 at Citi Field.
No, you always want to come home and do well.
Marte pulls one foul.
When you first get in the big leagues and you come home, you're nervous and it's unsettling. You got family. But after you get established, Gary, you look forward to it. You want to. It's kind of a prideful thing to come home and have all your friends, the people that you know, and you're playing in New York, and you want to do well.
Just let somebody else handle the ticket requests. DeGrom trying to find his rhythm in this game. And misses to Marte. 2-2. It's wearing those camouflage caps with the orange brims. These are a little different than the camo uniforms they wore earlier this year. This time just the numbers and the letters in camo. 2-2. Bounces that breaking ball. Full count.
Well, I guess if you're going to be missing early and you're looking for your rhythm, and I'm sure Ronnie would agree with me, you'd rather miss low in the strike zone than up high where you can really get an early shower.
Full count to Marte. As we mentioned, he strikes out a lot, so we'll see if Alvarez is put in motion here. He's running. Marte bounces it foul.
That's Nick Leyva down at third base line, a third base coach for the Pirates.
He did some nice acrobatics there to
dodge
getting hit.
Managed the Phillies. Was also the third base coach and bench coach for Whitey Herzog of the Cardinals back in the 80s, and when we were battling them for the divisional titles every year. Toronto too he managed, correct?
Alvarez was running on the first 3-2 pitch. He goes again, and it's ball 4. And again, the Pirates have a couple of men on. Second walk for DeGrom.
This is the first time we've seen DeGrom struggling with his command.
Well, 7 batters have come to the plate. 5 of the 7 have reached base. 3 hits and 2 walks. Now you got the 8 and 9 hitters coming up. Jordy Mercer has really struggled this year. He's beaten out Clint Barmas as the #1 shortstop with the Pirates, but Mercer, who hit .285 last year, hitting just .201 this season, and 0 for his last 13. So DeGrom really needs to dominate the 8 and 9 hitters here. And throws a breaking ball that misses, and Santano's going to bring that one out to the mound.
Everything is down. Every pitch he's in the dirt. So interesting. And that's in the dirt. So I used to always feel this way, Gary. You had a pitcher struggling in the dirt. He's going to have to set his sights up, make adjustments up. And what happens when if they over adjust, then you might be able to get a nice fat one on the belt.
Alvarez at second, Marte at first, and nobody out. But DeGrom has had to expend a lot of energy this first time through the batting order.
Oh, he's a young kid. He can do it.
It's the first really warm day we've had here at Citi Field. Fly ball, shallow right. Abreu got a late start in, but he'll get there and puts it away for the first out. So Mercer flies out, one away. Now you got the pitcher Compton coming up.
And I'm sure you're going to have a bunt situation here.
City probables for the remainder of the series. Tomorrow night, John Neese against Edison Volquez. And then Wednesday afternoon, Bartolo Colon against Charlie Morton.
Well, Volquez is a pitcher that works so slow.
Well, the Pirates' starting pitching has been their big downfall so far this year. As I mentioned, their offense is about the same as it was last year. Their bullpen has struggled at times, and Jason Grilli was hurt for a while. But it's the starters. I mean, Francisco Liriano, who was their opening day starter, has been awful. Lost again yesterday. Morton, you saw, just 1 and 6. Wandy Rodriguez was so bad they released him. Compton's going to swing the bat, and he takes ball 1. Mets were selling out for the bunt.
Well, you know, give a strike if he got a good hitting pitcher.
He was 2 for 6 in the minor leagues this year, 6 for 34 in his minor league career. And now he shows bunt. Maybe he missed a sign. And he bunts it foul.
Well, I think what happened is the element of surprise is you give him a pitch to swing. The Mets are overly committed on the corners. Something might happen. But once you take the bat back and it's a ball, then you've lost the element of surprise. Then you go to the bunt.
We're just taking a long look here to see what Clint Hurdle wants on a 1-1 count.
He'll want a bunt. And you don't want to play a wheel here. You just want to play a straight bunt, because there's 1 out.
And he punches at it and misses 1 and 2. Maybe that's why they had him swinging the bat. Might be a better hitter than bunter.
Clint's getting gray. Oh my goodness. Wow, Clint.
Happens to us all.
Yep. That's what happens when you're a manager. Manager of the year last year. Deservingly so.
In 94 games for a team that hadn't had a winning record in 20 years. So we'll get you. And Compton strikes out with the full cut. Second strikeout for DeGrom and the second out of the inning.
You know, I just don't agree with that. I just think you got to get the bunt down, have him bunt with 2 strikes, because now you get a 2-out single. It's 2 runs. Good sinker by DeGrom.
So 2 out and 2 on, and now back to the top of the order, and Josh Harrison, who struck out to open the game. Harrison 5 for 15 with runners in scoring position. Bats here with 2 out and 2 on. I can't remember the last time I saw a hitter stand as far from the plate as Harrison. Well, last year, pretty much the same offensive numbers, but the starter's ERA a full run per game higher. And that's been the difference between 11 games over 500 and 5 games under through the first 49 games for the Pirates.
It was really an exciting season for the Pirates last year. So many years of futility, losing seasons that really energized the city. They drew well. It's nice to see, because Pittsburgh, you know, it's a football town. They love their Steelers. But when the baseball team's going good, they come out.
It's also a fantastic ballpark. There's a good slider by DeGrom, 1 and 2.
DeGrom is starting to find the range on his slider now. The last 3 pitches were 3 sliders, 2 of them perfectly right there, and the other one was in the dirt. So he's kind of zeroing in.
1 and 2 to Harrison. And he bounces that slider. Santano blocks it. 2 and 2. Well, DeGrom found his way out of trouble in the first inning. Bases loaded, 1 out, got a double play grounder. First 2 men reached here in the second, and he's on the verge of getting out of it.
This is the out he wants, Gary. He does not want the veteran Neil Walker in the on-deck circle to come up with the bases loaded. Oh, wow.
Split loyalties right there. 2 out, 2 on, 2-2 to Harrison, and he grounds 1 for Flores. Harrison can run, but Flores throws him out. Side retired. So DeGrom for the second straight inning finds his way out of difficulty. Still no score at Citi Field. after that top of the second.
Well, you know, John is the senior member of the staff as far as time here in New York, correct? That's hard to believe, isn't it?
By the way, there is somewhat disturbing news about one of the Mets' young pitching prospects, prime young pitching prospect, Noah Syndergaard. He's been placed on the disabled list with Las Vegas, what they're calling a mild flexor pronator strain. That's elbow. And often that means absolutely nothing. Sometimes it can be something more serious. So they are flying Syndergaard to New York to have the Mets team doctors have a look at him. See his numbers from Las Vegas. And obviously that's something that the Mets will be keeping their attention on. Certainly everybody was expecting Syndergaard to be here at some point this year. Bobby Abreu leading off. Lucas Duda on deck. Home second inning.
Well, it's interesting how the game, as far as injuries to pitchers, when, you know, I was a kid growing up and playing, it was always the shoulder. And I do recall Ronnie saying that basically they strengthen the shoulder, but there's no way to really strengthen the elbow.
Well, that's the thing. When you guys were playing, you used to hear about rotator cuffs all the time. And, you know, guys still get rotator cuff issues from time to time, but you can strengthen the muscles around that.
Right.
And there's no similar way of strengthening the area around your elbow. Dylan G, who's had a bit of a setback in his bid to return from a lat injury. He went out to try and start a bullpen session yesterday. Didn't feel comfortable enough to do it, so it looks like it's going to be a little while before Dylan's able to return, and that gives Montero and DeGrom a few more times around the rotation to figure out who stays in when Dylan comes back.
It's got to be very frustrating for Dylan. Any player, you get injured, and it's helpless. You feel helpless.
Full count to Abreu, which is where most of his at bats start.
And it's also very interesting. The first time through the order, Compton, we mentioned last inning, pitched Granderson in, pounding Abreu in also. So it's establishing inside the first time through the order. We'll see if he changes gears.
And Abreu rips one to right, but Harrison is right there. One out. Abreu made the adjustment to the inside pitch.
He's watches. He's a wily veteran. Okay, you're going to pitch Murphy inside. He got him to inside out. He pitched, what, 5 pitches to Granderson, 4 of them inside. He pitched me 3 pitches inside. I'm going to look in there. And he did. He just hit it right at him.
Well, you look at Compton's numbers, and they're only a small sample size because he's only had 2 prior starts this year, but his numbers against the lefties are a little better than they are against the righties. Duda hits one up the middle and a base hit. So Lucas first pitch swinging, takes one through the overshift, and the Mets have their second hit. And the remaining first baseman and the departed first baseman can have a chat.
You know, Lucas, I didn't do the game, the first game of the series. He had that really bad night at the plate, and I just really read the papers in the morning, Gary, and you know, he stood at his locker, and he you know, you just say, hey, I had a bad day, and that's all you can do.
Well, he had a rough couple of days. Saturday left 7 on base. First game yesterday left 6 on base, including that big double play in the 8th. Here's Wilmer Flores, and he takes a strike.
You know, once you just own up to everything, a bad day or an error or whatever, or a base running blunder, you really, it just diffuses the whole issue. If you start making excuses, then you give the writers a chance to extend their story.
Flores grounds one toward the hole.
Nice.
Alvarez with a nice pickup gets the force, and Walker with the turn for the double play. Beautifully done, starting with Alvarez, who made a throwing error in the first inning, but a beautiful pickup on a difficult hop to start the 5-4-3 double play that gets Compton through the second.
This is not an easy chance. In between hop, Alvarez, really not known for his glove, kind of fumbles here, getting it out on the exchange, but gets it done.
No score after 2. negotiated 2 difficult innings. And now we'll see if he can have an easier time of it in the third. But he's got the big hitters coming up. Walker, McCutchen, and Davis, 2, 3, and 4 in the Pittsburgh batting order. Walker had a base hit to left field his first time up. Walker, a Pittsburgh native, now in his 6th year playing for his hometown team. By the way, speaking of hometown Pirate folk, we had the great honor of being visited in the booth today by Doc Emmerich, who is maybe the world's biggest Pirates fan, in addition to being the greatest hockey broadcaster ever born.
Well, the Rangers won a big one in overtime last night, and I must confess that I hit the sack early, missed the overtime, but I heard his call on the way in on WFAN, and as usual, it was wonderful. It was loud.
Give you a nice call on the St. Louis.
Yes.
Always nice to have a future Hall of Famer to bang in your game-winning goal in overtime. 2-0 to Walker, and he slashes one foul. 2-1.
I've got a couple friends in town that are Pirate fans. They came in from upstate New York to watch the Pirates. We're going to have dinner tonight in the city together.
Walker hits it out to left center, slicing away from Lagares, but he'll get back there. 1 out. I would think if you're a pitcher for the Mets, it's got to give you a great deal of confidence anytime a ball is hit gap to gap and you've got Lagares playing out.
You know, you've got your. He's like Bjorn Borg back there, or Lendl in the baseline. Nothing gets by him.
How did you slip into the tennis reference there? That was fascinating.
I like the baseline players.
A Michael Chang fan?
Well, I always I appreciated Chang's hustle, but Lendl was just incredible back there.
Well,
Borg, of course,
was almost superhuman. It's like he had that 35 resting heartbeat. He was so calm.
But I read an article about him. It was an article on him with lots of his quotes in Sports Illustrated a long time ago. And he always said when he had to throw up that tennis ball to serve down a point, whether it was out, big point to serve a set, he said he was always nervous. I'd take a deep breath. It's very interesting.
Can never read it.
Exactly. That's my point.
Never let him see you sweat.
Everybody has inside. You don't know what's going on in there, you know.
DeGrom behind on McCutchen, 3-1. McCutchen ripped a base hit to left his first time, and he walks him this time. That's 3 walks now for DeGrom. So nothing coming easily for Jacob. Ike Davis will come up for the second time before the game. Ike met with the media. He was asked about the difference playing in Pittsburgh compared to playing in New York.
The guys on the team are really cool. They took me in as soon as I got there. I guess, I don't know, maybe, going to get coffee and I don't get hitting tips. Maybe that's the best thing. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I don't have to think about my stance at 9 in the morning.
Here's Ike, who walked his first time up. Kevin Burkhart's back in the house. Kevin, big day for Ike back.
Yeah, it
Flushing.
is. Before I talk about Boris Becker with you, Keith, I have something to talk about with Ike. You heard that story. They said that actually did happen. He was roommates with Josh Satin when he was here, and he's going through it. And everybody's an expert. You know how it is. So in the morning, it's your time for solace. Try and be a normal human being. And he walks into a Dunkin' Donuts one day, and there's 2 Met fans. They say, "Hey guys, hey Josh, hey dinner, hey Ike," and they say hi and they sign a couple autographs. And the one fan comes back, "Ike, listen, you got to stop dropping your hands." I mean, one thing I noticed watching tape, so you could see what Ike was talking about. Having a little fun with that today.
Well, New Yorkers have opinions. I'm sure folks in Pittsburgh have opinions, but maybe not quite as apt to share them. 1-1 from DeGrom, and it's lifted foul. 1-2 to Davis.
Well, New York's more concentrated. Obviously, a lot more people. packed into the big island there. And
up to $8.4 million now.
Yep, and they all got an opinion. Except the little babies. The infants aren't there yet.
Give them a couple months.
It's in the formula. McCutchen at first, 1-2 to Ike, and a fastball away, 2-2.
You know, guys, one thing though, you know, we saw it. He did so many different things, tried so many different stances, approaches, the whole thing. And I asked him, get to Pittsburgh, new guy, new voice, and Jeff Branson, the hitting coach, said, "What did he say to you?" He said, "Nothing. We've talked only things that I really wanted to talk to. He's pretty much let me be for now and try to kind of see how I do."
Changeup popped up into shallow center. Who's going to call, and Lagares took it. Granderson was calling all the way, but it was clearly Lagares' ball, and fortunately Curtis pulled up just in time.
Well, we're going to do the pitch sequence here. First pitch, fastball up and away, ball one. Another fastball up and away, strike one. Fastball down and away. Fastball away. Slider. Outer half. So basically the first two at bats here, Lagares is calling off there. You can see that. And basically staying away from Mike. First two at bats.
So 2 out. Here's Russell Martin with McCutchen at first. Martin came up with the bases loaded and 1 out in the first inning, worked the count full, and then hit a ground ball to third that the Mets turned into a nice looking double play. A good turn by Murphy in the middle. And that got DeGrom out of first inning trouble. Slider misses to Martin.
More traditional, I guess, pirate uniform. Remember in the 70s with the Stargell Group, the lumber company, they had those bumblebee uniforms. They had those yellow uniforms that were so ugly. And they wore the 76 Centennial hats. They had one team that kept them after 76.
Those kind of round things with the stripes.
The old-fashioned hats.
Well, for a while, the Pirates had the mix and match uniforms. They had the gold, the black, and the pinstripes, and they used them in different combinations, some of which were just hideous.
The pinstripe pants were kind of nice. It looked good with the black top, but the bumblebees were just awful.
Right to his left, gets the force, side retired. And DeGrom works his way through another inning. No score, middle of the third. Today, on Memorial Day.
There's the old hats we talked about, Garrett.
Just had this vision of Kent DeColvey, 6'6", 175 pounds in that big hat. overwhelmed his head.
He looked like Ray Bolger, the Scarecrow.
Get all the highlights and reactions from last night's Rangers-Canadiens Game 4 matchup at the Garden, plus all the latest Blue Shirts news and opinions on SNYRangersblog.com, part of the SNY.TV blog network.
That was a team, that Pirate team, as you look at Santano get up to plate. You didn't want to get in a fight with that Pirate team. You had Jim Bibby, who was 6'7". You had Parker. You had Stargell. You had John Milner. They had some animals.
Don't get too many baseball brawls these days. They had a little dust up yesterday. Boston and Tampa Bay.
There's Teak.
Kent DeColvey, great sidearm.
Now, does that look like Ray Bolger and the Scarecrow? If you put Ray Bolger in a Pirate uniform, that'd be it.
Santano takes it inside 1-1.
And those stars on the hat were merit stars. Chuck Tanner instituted those. So obviously saves, RBIs, I'm sure, much like a football team.
Santano, it's a weak grounder, and Compton comes off the mound.
Yeah, well, he was something else. I remember my father telling me about Roberto Clemente. He saw him at Candlestick Park one time. He had a detail in the fire department, and he got the detail at Candlestick, which he was thrilled. And the Pirates were playing. And he said that it was so profound that he got his bat jammed and broke his bat and had a little nubber back to the pitcher. He said he ran as hard as he could to first base.
Always.
He said he never forgot that.
Jacob deGrom, .667 hitter in the major leagues, takes ball one. 2 for 3. Well, of course, Clemente was a great star for so many years for the Pirates after they drafted him from the Dodgers, who allowed him to go. It wasn't until the '71 World Series, though, that he really became appreciated for how good he was on a national basis.
It was the equivalent of what Brooks Robinson did in that World Series with his glove.
1970.
Yes, and everybody all of a sudden recognized Brooks, but Clemente did it all. He did it offensively. He did it defensively.
I mean, he had that great throw that he made in that series, going to the right field line and whirling and throwing it all the way to third base.
He was just such an athlete and fabulous right fielder, cannon arm. He's the one who hit the line drive off Gibson's knee that broke his knee. Was that 67?
67, yeah. Rom gets a piece. And, you know, in 1960, when the Pirates won it all, Dick Rote won the MVP, but most people felt as though it was really Clemente's. He had a rough time of it, dealing with a lot of the racism and the lack of understanding about a proud Latino player. Off the glove of the diving Walker, and DeGrom's got himself another hit. From .667, he goes to .750, 3 for 4.
Well, just ticking off the glove of Walker, the ball was ripped. And speaking of middle infielders, how about the defense in Arizona? Their shortstop and second baseman yesterday. I mean, hands of stone. Gosh, they didn't make any of the plays that were halfway difficult.
Well, the former college shortstop DeGrom, thriving as a hitter in the big leagues. He's aboard with 1 out for Lagares, who had a bunt single his first time up. And as Lagares gets more and more adept at bunting, which he really has become very good at, more and more those third basemen start creeping in against him.
It's going to also get more base hits for him on the ground. If you force those corner infielders in because of your threat to bunt, then that obviously leaves a hole for you between third and short, first and second.
So now Alvarez is backing up here on a 1-1 count. He might drop down another one.
Know what you can do from a defensive standpoint, which I like to do, was I would come in on the cut of the grass, pitcher's in a stretch, and then when the hitter has to start focusing on the ball, I'd back up. Just show that I was in and back up. which is what.
Hit hard off the glove of Mercer. DeGrom racing for second, and he'll make it safely. Well, that's a ball that Mercer absolutely has to catch.
Especially when you're hitting 207. You better make these plays. This is like, it's more. That's just no excuse for that.
Took his eye off it. He was looking for the runner to see if he can get double play. Second infield error for the Pirates in this game. So 2 aboard for Murphy, who flied to left his first time up. Well, the Mets unable to take advantage of the first Pittsburgh error. See if they can cash in the second. And Murphy pops one foul. By the way, Jacob deGrom has just become the first Mets pitcher in history to get a hit in each of his first 3 games. Congratulations. Walt Terrell, Dylan G. each had hits in their first 2 major league starts, but now deGrom has one in each of 3. 0-1 to Murphy with right on deck. Good slider by Compton. 0-2.
Went fishing. Not a strike. That down and in pitch is a tough one to lay off.
DeGrom at second, Lagares at first, and 1 out. No score in the third. And Murphy hits one to Mercer. He handles this, takes it to the bag, and turns 2 to get Compton through the inning. So the Mets, who hit into 5 double plays in the first game yesterday, have already hit it to 2 this afternoon. No score after 3. Memorial Day, and in honor of Memorial Day, Kevin Burkhardt standing by with a very distinguished guest. Kevin?
It's Ray Mabus, the United States Secretary of the Navy, Gary. It doesn't get much bigger than this. And Mr. Secretary, thank you so much on Fleet Week and on a Military Appreciation Day and, of course, Memorial Day. And well, you control about 900,000 people. And, you know, that's quite the job. What's the most rewarding thing, first of all, about what you do?
The most rewarding thing are the sailors and Marines I get to work with day to day. You know, I see them all around the world. They're the most skilled, the most talented, the most dedicated folks we've got. And getting to know them, getting to see them in action, getting to understand what they do, that's an amazingly rewarding part of my job.
It's interesting you say understanding what they do. I know people probably feel this way. I do. You know, you see certainly service men and women here today. You see them on airplanes, wherever it is, and you want to say thank you for what you do. How else can you show gratitude to those folks? What's the best way to kind of show that you appreciate what they're doing?
Ask them what they do. Ask them where they're from. Ask them what their job is. Ask them where they've been deployed around the world. And just get to know them as a person. And in New York this week for Fleet Week, take a selfie with a sailor.
Yeah, I like that. Take a selfie with a sailor. Alvarez has a double here. Well, Mr. Secretary, you know, you're a big sports fan. I know you're a big baseball fan. Are there similarities to be drawn? You were just telling me you had one that you kind of compared the troops to.
Yeah, I mean, the team aspect, the winning and losing, the camaraderie.
You said that those troops are the away team of America, right?
I'm sorry, yeah. They're America's away team, because when we are doing our jobs, we're usually a long, long way from home. The American people don't get to see them, don't get to deal with them, and don't get to see how good they are, and don't get to see how hard their jobs are. And that's why I say, when you see somebody, instead of just saying thank you for your service, find out about it.
How much does sports play a role in helping those folks feel connected to home? I know, you know, with the Armed Services Network, I know the internet, there's plenty that follow along. How much does that play a role in making them feel like they're connected here?
Oh, it's huge, because as I said, they're usually a long, long way from home. When they get to come here, get to be at the ballpark, have people recognize them, that's huge. And then they follow their teams. They follow their teams no matter where they are, whether they're in Afghanistan or off the coast of Japan. It doesn't matter. With the internet, with armed forces, television, and radio, it's a real connection at home. And less than 1% of America today serves in the uniform of America. It's a way to keep the people who protect us and the people who are protected, keep them connected.
How much do you travel, and how much do you get overseas to see them and connect with them?
I travel a lot. So far, about 830,000 air miles, 112 separate countries. I've been to Afghanistan 12 times now. But I've seen sailors and Marines in virtually every one of those countries. I've seen sailors and Marines at sea. I've seen them in combat, seen them doing the things that they do, seeing them help people in Japan for Operation Tomodachi, or the Philippines, seeing them in Haiti coming in, seeing them when they came here after Sandy. So I have the greatest job in the world, because I do get to see them. I do get to travel. I do get to be with them in the field.
Certainly nice to find out a little bit about you, and thank all of those servicemen and women out there.
I've enjoyed this very much, and thank you for doing this on Memorial Day.
Yeah, sounds good. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, Mr. Secretary Gary Keith, let's go back to you.
Oh, it's an enormous task. Enormous task. All the work that all of the armed services do around the world. 112 countries he's been to visit naval personnel. Think about that.
Well, I have a soft spot for the Navy.
Mercer bloops one, and there's Murphy to pick it off in the second out.
So my dad served in the Navy in World War II, so I've always been fond of the Navy. I'm fond of all the branches of the armed services, but I've always liked the ocean, liked the water.
It only seems as though half the Navy's in New York during Fleet Week, but it's really a much smaller percentage. Here's Brandon Compton, who struck out his first time up. So DeGrom trying to work through trouble for a fourth straight inning. He's been out of the stretch almost all day. Leadoff double by Alvarez here in the fourth, but he got the ground ball from Marte and jammed Mercer, and now facing the pitcher Compton, looking for his first big league hit. So a lot of pitches for DeGrom, but no runs against him.
Well, the Pirates have been threatening every inning. Bases loaded in the first inning, first and second, nobody out in the second. Left a runner on last inning.
Well, the Pirates' numbers are just about the same as the Mets in terms of making hay. They're hitting .248 with runners in scoring position. The Mets .246. Mets are hitting .136 with the bases loaded. The Pirates hitting .128 with the bases loaded. So it's been a similar struggle for them as it's been for the Mets trying to get runners home. One of the reasons these teams have the same record. 1-2 from DeGrom, and Compton just got a piece. Meanwhile, Miami playing at Washington this afternoon. Giancarlo Stanton just hit his 15th home run. Marlins up 3-0 in the third. 1-2. Breaking ball line to right, and Abreu is over there to make the grab. Abreu playing toward the line against the pitcher, properly stationed, and that gets DeGrom through the fourth. Still no score at Citi Field. Baseball to football, partnering with the New York Jets to help local youth football leagues with equipment donations, clinics, and Jets game experiences. Right now we're accepting applications. If you know a local youth football league in need, apply today at facebook.com/SNY.
Orange.
Rusty Staub doing what he does best, making friends everywhere he goes. He's doing exactly what the Secretary of the Navy said.
Rusty up.
Where you been? Where you from? What you been doing? How are you serving?
No. Big Russ up from Florida. Rusty makes his home now in West Palm Beach.
Brandon Compton has held the Mets at bay for the first 3 innings, getting a couple of double play balls the last 2. Mets will have 3, 4, and 5 in their order. Wright, Granderson, and Abreu to try and break through here in the fourth. David grounded out to second base his first time up. David began the day tied for the National League lead in base hits, 64 hits, same as Paul Goldschmidt, who just left here. That's did a great job against Goldschmidt in that series against Arizona. Guy who's capable of breaking a game open at any time, and he went just 2 for 13 in the series against the Mets with no home runs. Ball on a strike to right. And he lines one right at Walker. 1 out.
Well, they got him played perfectly. David hit the ball twice hard today and got nothing to show for it.
Right at Walker both times.
Same spot.
So 1 out now. Granderson, who was struck out with a runner at third to end the first inning.
pitched Curtis inside first time up and struck him out with a slider down and in, 3-2.
And he comes inside again for a strike. This time they're going to move the shortstop a little further over and put him on the right side. And so Granderson trying to bunt his way on, something we have not seen him try to do.
Well, here's the defense, as you can see, and that's much more dramatic. Now he's really vacating. There you go. Get down.
Slider at the feet of Granderson, 1-2. Bobby Abreu on deck. Compton with the 1-2. And Granderson lifts one to right. Harrison should have plenty of room. And at the edge of the track, he reels it in. 2 out. Battling the sun there.
It's only going to get worse as the day progresses.
It's a great shot of the sun glinting off the sunglasses.
Yeah, it's a sun field.
So 2 out and nobody on. Compton with a chance for his first 1-2-3 inning as he takes on Abreu, who hit the ball hard his first time up, lining out to right, and they put a big shift on against Bobby.
Well, they've been pitching. They didn't do it the first time through. It's very curious. And they're pitching in. So the old adage was, play them away, pitch them away, play them away. Maybe this one it's pitch them in and play them in.
Well, he's got the ability to inside out that ball the other way. I guess they figure with 2 out, more likely he's going to be trying to pull. Yeah, it's 2-0.
Well, the Pirates are heavily involved with shifts and dramatic shifts. It's a conscious effort of the coaching staff of Clint Hurdle.
And they really made the adjustment to that last year. They had been a much more traditional defensive team, but the folks in the analytics department for the Pirates convinced Clint Hurdle and his coaching staff this was the way to go, and they really bought into it.
And then they really had to convince the pitchers. The pitchers, I remember reading the article, Clint Hurdle said the pitchers were gun shy about it, and it was tough getting them away from the dark side.
Don't want to be on the dark side. Still light there. 3-1 to Abreu, and he lines one to center field. McCutcheon coming on, but he'll have to play it on a hop. And Abreu has a 2-out hit. Tell you what, Abreu may be 40 years old, but he has not forgotten how to hit. He's had great at bats.
You can never forget how to hit. It's just whether you can, which is a term I hate today, which is used so often, can you execute?
Well, you still have the physical skills to be able to.
You've lost a little bit of the reflexes and you had when you were in your 20s and 30s in your prime.
Abreu sat out last year, and he spent most of his time trying to get himself in better shape so he could make a comeback, and he has. It's looked good. There's Duda, who had a base hit his first time, and he takes a breaking ball strike.
Well, he played for Dave Hudgens down in winter ball, and Hudgens, he opened eyes, and Hudgens made the appeal to management that he felt Abreu could help the ball club.
Duda hits one into the shift, and Walker is there to throw him out. That retires the side. A hit and 1 left. 4 innings on Memorial Day. Lots of base runners, but no score. the only 3 players to hit 200 home runs for the Pirates.
I know one.
I know 2.
Yes.
I think I know all 3. SNY Super Slow Motion brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. 5th inning, and remarkably in this game, there's no score. The Pirates have left 6 runners on base in the first 4 innings. Mets have left 3 and hit into 2 double plays. Josh Harrison chases a pitch out of the strike zone. That's how his first at bat ended when he struck out. Then he grounded to short in the second. 3rd time around the batting order now for DeGrom, who has a high pitch count, but positive results so far. And his slider misses away, a ball and a strike. 3rd start for DeGrom, all 3 here at Citi Field. Before yesterday, only 1 pitcher in Mets history had made his first 3 starts, all at Citi Field. In the hole, Flores, the overhand throw, and he got him. And he didn't double clutch that time. He's had that tendency to wait before he throws. This time he got rid of it quickly.
Well, this is well done. We're looking for his arm strength. We haven't seen enough of Wilmer at short, but that is no wasted motion, Gary. Just a plant and throw, and a strong throw.
It was almost as though he was ready to tap it and then throw, and he thought better of it, knew he had to get rid of it.
He's got to break that habit.
Well, remember, David Wright used to have that habit.
Had the tapping.
There's Neil Walker, 1 for 2, single to left his first time up. Anyway, before yesterday, Walt Terrell had been the only Met pitcher who had made his first 3 starts all at home. And then Rafael Montero did, and now today Jacob DeGrom. First 3 starts all at home. Montero was great yesterday.
He threw well. And like I said, I noticed he threw more inside. I still think he needs to throw more inside, particularly to the left-handers. But threw a fine ball game.
With the 4th Met in history to have a double-digit strikeout game within his first 3 starts. Of course, Matt Harvey did it in his first start. 0-2, and Walker takes it high. Big Dennis Rybant and Dick Selma were the other 2.
Dennis Rybant, oh boy, going back.
65, I think, was Rybant's rookie year. Andrew McCutchen on deck. Walker pulls one down to first, and Duda will take it himself. 2 out, and so DeGrom with a chance for his first 1-2-3 inning. Well, last year the Pirates had their first winning season in 21 years. They won 94 games, had the first wild card, and they got the honors that went with that. MVP for Andrew McCutchen, Manager of the Year for Clint Hurdle, Francisco Liriano Comeback Player of the Year. Pedro Alvarez led the league in home runs.
That is a long drought of not being in the playoffs, particularly in today's game with 3 divisions in the wild card.
Not even having had a winning season in all those years, even more remarkable. Well, the Pirates had years where they just didn't have the resources, and they've gone through a lot of GMs and a lot of managers and a lot of bad decisions. But
well, the one great decision they made was that new ballpark.
But you know, it took them a while. That ballpark opened in 2001, and it took them until 2013 to cash in. And now that ballpark is filled all the time, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, and they don't share it with the Steelers. Steelers have their own ballpark. I think it's Heinz Field.
Right next door. 2-2 now to McCutchen, who singled and walked today.
And the old Three Rivers Stadium was like the Veterans Stadium in St. Louis at Busch Stadium. Those multi-purpose Coliseum-like stadiums are so boring.
2-2. Inside, full count to McCutchen. McCutchen's not going to help you out. He's drawn 36 walks already this year. Has the 3rd highest on base percentage in the National League. Hasn't hit for much power this year, just 4 home runs. And that seems to be everywhere. There's a lot of guys hitting a lot of home runs right now. One guy who is Nelson Cruz with the Orioles. Signed late. And they have gotten the most out of him. 16 home runs now. Hold. Flores on the back end. Again, the quick throw, and this time too late to get the speedy McCutchen.
Well, there you go right there. That ball's hit hard and too much. That has got to be a 6-3 on your scorecard. Too much taking your time. A double clutch.
There's that extra hop.
Yep, and that just doesn't get it done. You got to plant and throw. We got to know who's up at the plate. You can't dilly-dally with that guy running down the line.
Terry Collins came out briefly, but clearly McCutchen beat it.
Can get a better stretch out of Lucas too. There, that's not a stretch at all by any stretch of the imagination.
Double stretch. So McCutchen's on base for the third time, and a chance for Ike Davis, who has walked and flied to center 0 for 1. McCutchen's 7 stolen bases. He's not been caught this year. If you're just joining us, it was a very pleasant reception for Ike Davis when he came to the plate for the first time today. Like said before the game, he was expecting to be booed. He was not.
No. I think New Yorkers were pulling for him because they got 19 home runs the first year, then the 32 home runs with that great second half he had, and then he was off to such a great start the next year and collided with Wright in Colorado, and it all went bad from that point on.
Well, Ike was a favorite here, and he was also a favorite in the clubhouse. His teammates loved him, and Terry Collins said that today. He said, I love Ike Davis.
Yeah.
I want him to have a great year, just not the next 3 days.
Of course.
There's a strike. 1-1. It'll be interesting to see how far DeGrom gets pushed today. Montero yesterday got pushed to 113 pitches in his third big league start.
Then I got to believe DeGrom is going to get pushed today. Mets are short in the bullpen, are they not, Gary?
Well, they are, because Mejia, after pitching in both ends of the doubleheader yesterday, is probably not available. Of course, Dice came out. Sasaka's not available.
So they're working on the old-fashioned. They still got more than the old days. They got 6 they can use, right? Only 5. That's right, 5, like the old days when you were young lass.
Shocked me. 2-1 to Davis.
It's shocking that there's only 5 men out in that bullpen. I'm of the opinion, and I expressed it before, that the 12 is too many. I'd rather have 11 and have an extra bench man.
Yanked down to first. Duda boxes it around, but recovers and makes the play to end the inning. So Duda and Davis making their connection there. And somehow DeGrom gets through 5 scoreless. 5 picks apart in the 9th round of the 2010 draft. And so far, they've been right on the same page. Lots of base runners, no runs scored as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Lower third of the order coming up for the Mets. Flores, Centeno, and DeGrom. Wilmer came up with a man on in the 2nd inning and grounded into a 5-4-3 double play. Brandon Compton, since June 15th of last year, has been up and down between Pittsburgh and AAA Indianapolis 6 times. Hoping this time is finally the occasion when he gets to stick in the major leagues. He's acquitted himself well today, and he throws a fastball strike to Flores.
Well, he had 6 starts in AAA this year. 4-1 with a 1.35 earned run average at Indianapolis, which used to be the Reds when I played down there.
Well, that's good enough to get into promotion. The question is, what's good enough to stay in the big leagues? And they released Wandy Rodriguez when they owed a lot of money to make a spot available. There's a question whether it would be Compton or Jeff Locke, who pitched very well for the Pirates last year, and Compton got the first call because he was pitching so well. And Flores taps one right at Walker. Easy play for the first out. So 1 out and nobody on. Time to send it over to Kevin Burkhardt for today's view from the Pepsi porch. Kevin.
Well, we'll see the catcher Centeno hit here, Gary. We know that Travis d'Arnaud is in Double-A, rehabbing, trying to get back from a concussion. Had a home run yesterday. Maybe we see him midweek. But there's also somebody hot on the tails of Travis d'Arnaud, and someone we saw in spring training by the name of Kevin Plawecki. This is a guy who is tearing it up at Double-A right now. He's hitting .388 this month. Had hit 3 home runs in consecutive games this week. He's got 4 home runs, 11 RBIs in the month as well, and the guy is crushing it. Of course, the Mets took him 35th overall in 2012 out of Purdue, and we got to look at him in the spring. Terry Collins was a big fan. And here's the thing about Plawecki, guys. He's not on the 40-man roster. He does not have to be put on the 40-man roster until after the year. So his path this year, from what I've been told, Double-A and probably Triple-A. You wouldn't think that he would be here barring a crazy circumstance. But here's the thing. Travis d'Arnaud, this is his year to shine. He'll get the whole year when he comes back. But if it doesn't work, Plawecki is there. I talked to somebody on the inside with thinking that the Mets were thinking anyway, and they said, well, I'll tell you what, defensively he is tremendous at carrying a game, calling a game with the pitchers. His arm, maybe a little bit of a question, maybe get a little bit more selective. Nice pick there by Alvarez, and Centeno thrown out. But as far as hitting, he's done that at every level. We feel like he could be a major league catcher. Guys, Tim Hyman, who broadcast the game for Double-A, said, boy, he's impressive. He's got an aura to him. And yeah, there have been questions about his arm, but he had a game a week and a half ago where he threw out all 3 runners that tried to steal on him. So he is doing what he's supposed to do, and that is tearing it up in Double-A. Gary.
Well, it was fun watching Plawecki during spring training. He's got a great presence at the plate. Guy stands right on top of the plate. And DeGrom's got another hit. How about this kid? He's now 4 for 5 in the major leagues. He's an 800 hitter. Can they play him every day?
Lead him off.
Not that easy, young man. Nice little inside out here.
Maybe the folks at Stetson made a mistake. They shouldn't have moved him off shortstop. So DeGrom, 5 scoreless innings on the mound, 2 hits at the plate. He's at first with 2 out for Lagares, who's got a bunt single and reached on an error, 1 for 2. The Mets have 5 hits, and Jacob DeGrom has 40% of them. Backhanded by Martin, 2-0. It's so run-starved in their own ballpark. They're scoring 2 runs per game more on the road than they are at home this year. It's not like they're tearing it up on the road, but they are just not able to push runs across in this ballpark for whatever reason. You know, I saw a very interesting quote by Lloyd McClendon, the Seattle manager, yesterday after Dallas Keuchel of the Astros shut them down yesterday. He said at some point you've got to stop giving credit to average pitchers. It's our fault we're not scoring. Here's a call, strike 3-1.
Precisely.
I'm sure Mr. Keuchel didn't feel all that sweet about it, but still. Ultimately, it's all about looking in the mirror, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
DeGrom will be running here with 3-2 and 2 out. And Ike's going to play behind him. Inside, Lagares is on. That's the first walk given up by Compton, and now Daniel Murphy will get to bat with 2 men on. It's been a tough day at the plate for Murph so far. Came up with a runner at second and nobody out in the first inning. Couldn't advance him, flat out to left. Came up with 2 on and 1 out of the third and grounded into a double play. So he's got another opportunity here with 2 out and 2 on. Murph came into the day with 62 hits, third in the National League. Compton's been able to work around a couple of errors and 5 hits today. Now he's issued his first walk.
Little change up.
DeGrom at second. Lagares at first with 2 out.
Well, he's got a tough mark here in Murphy. The walk could hurt him and should hurt him.
Paints the inside corner, and it's 0-2. Well, he's been doing that all day against the left-hand hitters.
He's pitched in. There's no doubt about it. He's got that movement where he starts at the hip. But you got to make an adjustment. You got to be aware that that's part of his arsenal, and that's what he likes to do.
25-year-old Brandon Compton ahead on Murphy, now 0-2. And Murph lines one into right center for a base hit. DeGrom turns third, being waved home. The throw is going to third from Harrison. Safe as Lagares. It gets away. Lagares racing for the plate. The throw by Alvarez. He got him. A run scores. Martin able to block Lagares off the plate and make the tag. But the Mets get the first run of the game as DeGrom comes in. And the Mets have a 1-0 lead.
I don't know what Alvarez
didn't stop it.
He just didn't make a play on it, and he almost messed up there thinking about second base. He's got to know that Lagares
is that a legal plate block? Martin had the plate block before he had the ball. The Mets might have a challenge here. Martin definitely had the plate at least somewhat blocked without the ball, and you're not allowed to do that anymore. And the Mets are definitely going to challenge this. They may get this overturned.
Yep. And I disagree with this.
But that's the rule now.
But that's the rule.
You're not allowed to block the plate. You have to give the runner a lane before you have the ball, and Martin did not appear to do that.
Now, he's blocking the plate, but he's also got to catch the ball. So you're asking the catcher to be outside the line there, Gary, or to throw inside the line.
Well, the umpires are going to go and take a look at it. And I don't know if this is a challenge or this is the umpire's discretion here, because it can go either way. But the Mets might get themselves an extra run here. So we'll wait and see. This is the first time that the Mets have been involved in one of these, involving the new home plate collision rule. I mean, his leg was completely blocking the plate before he had the ball, right?
Yes. Now, are you asking him to be outside the line, body away from the line, inside on the foul territory side, and the throw's inside, and he has to come and get it?
Right, but
now, but the rule is, if he was outside and he did, then he's fine.
Well, the question is he allowed to drop his leg like that before he has the ball? I think. Play under review brought to you by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way.
He should be able to put his leg down. This is just absurd what's going on.
Well,
It's just absurd that we had one catcher in San Francisco that got hurt on a play that was boom boom. Timing had to be right, and now you got this mess when a catcher should have a right to block the plate. I just don't like the rule. Well, I mean, you're asking the catcher that this is probably going to be overturned and called safe. You got a catcher's mitt that's hard to make a one-handed catch, Gary. It's not like a first baseman's mitt. You're asking the catcher to be outside the line and have to make a one-handed stab coming back into the line with a runner bearing down on him. I just don't think it's right.
Of course, the other piece of that is that if the catcher's blocking the plate, that gives the runner the right to run him over.
Yes.
Lagares had that right because Martin was blocking the plate, but he chose to make the head first slide. By the way, this is not a manager's challenge. This is an umpire's review. The umpires can choose to review the home plate collision calls on their own, and that's they've just announced that's what this is, not Terry Collins using his challenge. And the folks back at MLB Advanced Media are taking a look, and the umpires there are trying to make a call to help out Laz Diaz, who is the home plate umpire who made the call on the field.
You can get hurt sliding head first. Be careful, young Juan.
Well, a runner can, a catcher can go get the ball if he has to get it to field a throw, but I don't know if that covers what we just saw. The way he dropped the leg, I can't believe they're not going to overturn this based on what the rule says.
You've got another long delay here.
And they call him safe. The Mets get the second run, and the inning continues. So Murphy gets credit for 2 RBIs.
They're explaining the hurdle. He's going to score on the air and the throw.
Yeah, I guess that's the way they're going to score it.
Right. That's an E9 now.
Right.
On the throw.
Well, they called Martin for blocking the plate before he had the ball.
Now this is all moot. Alvarez made the poor play here. Alvarez, for some reason, when he wouldn't got the ball, it came back at him. He looked to second base first, and there's the rule. Second paragraph is what's important.
It says it shall not be considered a violation if the catcher blocks the pathway of the runner in order to field a throw. And if he couldn't have fielded the ball without blocking the pathway, and I think that last piece is the relevant part. He could have gone and gotten the ball without blocking the plate.
Right.
He could have gone into foul territory, gotten the ball, and then reached back to make a tag. But instead he dropped his leg, and I think that's what changed the call.
Well, so basically you're telling Russell Martin he's got to be out of the base path. He's got to be situated over to the left more, and then he has a right to come in to make the catch. But you've got these catcher's gloves are not the most, delicate gloves. It's just you got guys that have been. I know it's going to be a generational thing. The young kids are going to come up and they're going to be used to this. But you're asking a veteran player in the heat of the moment, Gary, where it's really reactionary, and you're acting on your instincts that you've done your whole life, and you've changed you changed the game.
I agree with you completely. And if you watch, he's dropping his leg as he's fielding the ball. Here's the entire play.
Now watch Alvarez here. He makes the bad play. This throw's not that bad. I don't know how he didn't catch it. The ball comes off clearly. Look where he looked. And that one little split second made the difference. If he had gone directly home, Lagares is dead to rights.
So it scored a single for Murphy, 1 RBI, error on the right fielder Harrison, allowing the second run to score, and the inning continues with the Mets leading 2-0. And Murphy at second base with right at the plate. David's 0 for 2. And takes inside. Now you've had a very long delay. Compton had to re-warm up to get himself ready to finish this inning. Of course, that's the collateral damage of the replay rule.
I just begged the question right here, Gary, and that is, I'm going to have to wait till after the pitch. You've got a backup catcher for the Pirates named Chris Stewart. If it had been Chris Stewart that was hurt similar, like instead of Buster Posey, you never would have had this. Never would have had this. This is all about protecting star players with big salaries, protecting your commodity.
Well, I will say this. If you poll the catching community, and I'm talking about ex-catchers like Mike Matheny,
okay,
some of them are very much in favor of the new rules, or at least to do something about eliminating home plate collisions. Other catchers don't feel that way. But as an observer of the game, the rules are a little absurd because they make runners and catchers do things that are not natural in making split-second decisions, which I think is what you were saying. Check swing foul, 2-2.
What is Mike Scioscia's take on this? Have you seen that? Has he gone public? Because he was one of the guys that was a great block the plate better than anybody and got knocked out by Jack Clark in the playoffs that one year, if you recall.
Right. Now, lost in all this is that the Mets, who have been starving for a big 2-out hit, got one from Daniel Murphy to drive in the first run of this game. And they get an extra run on the home plate collision rule. Now it's 2-2 to right. And that's ball 3.
Well, Murph has been, I think, the most consistent hitter on this Met team, and has been hitting in the clutch. He's got 20 RBI now, and it's not a lot, but he's hitting in the 2-hole. That's a lot for a 2-hitter. What are we, a quarter of the way through?
Driven to left center, overcomes Marte to pick it off, and that retires the side. Mets get the first 2 runs of the game and lead it 2-0 after 5. Right now on this Memorial Day, let's take a moment to send it to the public address announcer at Citi Field, Alex Anthony.
Ladies and gentlemen, teams across Major League Baseball are pausing games this afternoon to observe a special Memorial Day national moment of remembrance. Please direct your attention to City Vision.
On this day, one brief moment, hear the silence in the air. Think of those once there beside us, now no longer there. Make us humble, make us knowing and accepting what is done on this day for all of Bohen. Make this day
Well, Jacob deGrom goes back to the mound now with a lead for the first time as we go to the 6th inning. Russell Martin hits one out to center field. Lagares easing back onto the warning track to reel it in. Boy, does he make that look easy.
He drifted a little bit there, but he had it run down.
One pitch and one long out into the glove of Lagares.
He's got a beat on it. He's just so smooth.
So one out now, Pedro Alvarez. Let's check in with Kevin.
Keith, just wanted to quickly add this. Heard you asking about Socha. When the Mets were in Anaheim, I talked to Mike about that. And basically the short-term story was this. He liked the fact of putting in something to protect the catchers. He thought there needed to be something where runners can't go out of their way just to level the catcher. But he thought that the rules were way too unclear. He thought it needed to be something more specific if they're going to do it.
Okay. That clears that up. But what more specific?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if anybody has what you could do specifically there. I mean, what can you do if you're going to pinpoint it? You know,
all you need to do. I mean, the rule is rather complicated. As Justin Wilson is up in the bullpen for the Pirates, all you really need to do is say that a player cannot collide with the catcher unless the catcher is blocking the plate. That's it. I mean, why do you need anything else in the rule?
Exactly.
Easy play for Lagares, and Alvarez retired for the first time today.
And this whole thing where it started with when Posey got hurt, was it 2 years ago? Was it Jamie Carroll? Who was the runner?
No, it was Cousins.
Cousins, that's right. I felt that he went out of his way a little bit inside the line, and that's what I think upset the Giants so much. He didn't have to do that. He could have slid on the outside part of the base. There could have been no contact.
Right. He had a lane. There's no question about it. And Nigel Morgan had one that was even worse. I forgot who the catcher was when he went way out in front of the plate to get a guy. And those are the ones that you want to get rid of.
Right.
Totally understand that. There's no reason for it. But if a catcher decides to block the plate, he should be fair game, which, by the way, he still is. On that play that we just saw, because Martin was blocking the plate, Lagares could have legally run him over.
Yes.
Because he was blocking the plate.
He's impeding the path.
Right.
So, and also the catcher has the gear on. The runner doesn't.
Well, it's just created a ton of confusion for all parties. And whether it prevents somebody from getting injured or not over the long term, I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't.
Most catchers, they're out in front of home plate waiting for the throw from home or whatever. They're out in front, and then they come back and make the tag. The only time that they're going to block the plate when they know it's going to be a boom boom play, and then they're taking their life into their own hands. And they're saying, okay, they're aware of what they're doing. They know that they're standing, and you can look down the line and get a beat on the runner coming from third. And then you make that decision as a catcher that you're going to block the plate. You know you're going to get hit.
Well, and of course the other piece of it is that it's a completely different story taking a throw from right field as opposed to taking a throw from left field, or in this case from foul territory off third base. You necessarily have to be on that side of the plate to catch the throw, otherwise you're completely out of position. In this case, I think they said that Martin could have gone and gotten the ball without dropping the shin guard and blocking the plate before he had the ball. Breaking ball struck him out. That's the first 1, 2, 3 inning of the day for Jacob deGrom. And a very fast inning to boot through just 9 pitches. 2-0 Mets in the 6th. Jacob deGrom with a terrific effort, 6 scoreless innings, and at 105 pitches. Who knows? Maybe they'll send him back out there for another.
I think he's going back out for one. There's no one up in the bullpen. I like the fact it's been slowly they're extending these young arms.
Curtis Granderson leading off the home 6th. That's bullpen is quiet. Granderson, Abreu, and Duda to bat. Well, yesterday, Rafael Montero was sent back out for the 6th inning at 102 pitches. He finished with 113. Granderson pulls one down the line. Foul. And so there's every chance that DeGrom will go out there at 105 to try and at least work part of the 7th inning, especially on a day when the Mets are a couple of arms short in the bullpen.
I think the magic number now is no longer 100 pitches, although it is a barometer. It is, but I think the philosophy down there, and they haven't said it. This is my opinion. I think Terry and Dan Warthen are telling their starters, "We want 7 out of you." Throwing that challenge out at them, and I couldn't agree more.
Side to Granderson, 3-2. Well, they've kept the ball in the hands of Curtis all day long. Bobby Abreu on deck, then Lucas Duda as the Mets try to add on. By the way, this is the first time DeGrom's been in the game and the Mets have scored.
That's right.
Tapper back to Compton, and he throws him out. Get to Citi Field for Father's Day Sunday, June 15th, when the Mets take on the Padres at 1:10. All dads in attendance and kids 12 and under will receive a Mets cap courtesy of Nathan's. And stop by for Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest on Mets Plaza pregame. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Family Sundays. There's Abreu, who's hit the ball hard twice, lined out to right, single to center.
Is the Red Sox on a 10-game losing streak?
10-game losing streak.
They're getting their fanny kicked again. The Braves are all over them.
Right center field, deep. McCutchen back. He won't get there. It bounces up against the wall. And Abreu pulls in at second base. Boy, has he swung the bat well today. 2 hits yesterday, and now 2 more hits today.
A sinker up out of the strike, not out of the strike zone, excuse me. A little above the belt, away. Look at that nice, beautiful swing that we've seen over the years. Beautiful swing, right on it. Level swing. On top of the ball. Always been a good line drive hitter.
Well, if he keeps hitting, you got to keep playing him, right?
What's the future? Well, you got Eric Young down now, so I mean, do you play Chris Young? He had such a tough day yesterday. He's been struggling.
Well, I mean, Chris Young is no larger part of the Mets' future than Bobby Abreu. He's got a 1-year contract.
You could platoon him.
Right now, I think Terry Collins will do whatever it takes to win a game on any given day.
Get some runs.
Yep. Duda's 1 for 2.
There's the score. The Red Sox, they are in big trouble.
Wonder if they'll start a fight again today. See what happened yesterday? It's 8-3 in the 7th, and Yunel Escobar was on second base. Walks into third because the Red Sox didn't do anything to hold him on. And the Red Sox got upset at Escobar, and they started a fight. It's a 5-run game in the 7th. Game's not over.
No, it's not over. The Red Sox have kind of become a little prima donna-ish. That team, that wild group at the turn of the century.
Jared Hughes up in the Pirate bullpen.
Of course, Bobby Valentine, when he took over that helm there, he had to clean up that mess. That was a thankless job.
Well, all that fried chicken and beer ended up paying off for Josh Beckett. He looked pretty good yesterday. 1-1 to Duda with Abreu at second and 1 out. And he pulls one down to first. Nice stop by Ike. And he makes the flip to Compton for the out. Now Ike Davis with a very pretty play. And they get Duda as Abreu goes to third.
One hop bullet. Plays the long hop. Very nice. Nice glove too, Ike. I like it.
Look right with 15 on his back.
Spark star.
He's at 29. But now Eric Campbell's 29 in blue and orange. And by the way, Campbell is staying in Ike's apartment.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right.
Well, first it was Satin, and then Satin got sent down, so Campbell got the digs.
Oh, that year lease, a 6-month lease.
There's Flores with a runner at third and 2 out. Wilmer's hit 2 ground balls, one of them into a double play.
Think about the minor leaguers. I forgot all about that. You don't make a lot of money. You're going into you could be called up and you got a lease on an apartment. You don't make that kind of dough.
That's why you share.
That's why they stated there's they had things in Tulsa and in Florida, St. Pete. They had the efficiency motels,
the extended stay places.
Yes, and they charge you by the day. And they had a kitchen and 1 bedroom with 2 doubles, so you can double up. Like back in '70 in Tulsa in '74, '73, it was $10 a day. Could you imagine that?
I bet it's more than that now.
I think so. It was a savior for us.
Flores drills one to right, but Harrison is there, and that retires the side. So a double for Abreu. He's stranded at third. 6 in the books on Memorial Day. Mets 2, Pirates nothing. Interactive with SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, featuring pitch-by-pitch coverage, player cards, and in-depth stats. Check out SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Well, Jacob deGrom had to sidestep a lot of trouble early in this game. Bases loaded first inning, 1 out, got out of it. First 2 men on in the second, got out of it. Leadoff double in the 4th, got out of it. And now 105 pitches deep. He's going to take them out for the 7th with a shutout intact. Scott Rice and Jerry's Familia stay busy behind him in the bullpen.
Well, know what I say? Get a nice clean inning.
Jordy Mercer leads off in the 7th. Travis Snyder has come out on deck to be a pinch hitter. And then Josh Harrison for the Pirates in the 7th. A tough day for the Pirates. They've had 5 hits. They've been shut out. They've committed 3 errors in the field. Pulled down to third. David Wright with a nice backhand pick. And throws out Mercer, 1 away.
Very sure-handed David Wright. Not an easy play. Nicely done, David, on the backhand. Very nice.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Travis Snyder, who has struggled at the plate this year. Whatever Snyder does for the remainder of his career, we'll always remember the catch he made here. Brilliant catch in right field.
Climb the wall. Off the bat of whom? I forget.
I don't remember.
Left-hand hitter, obviously. It was a bullet. And he climbed the Mozone wall, the cyclone fence out there, wherever that thing is.
Jared Hughes getting ready to pitch in the bottom of the 7th. Brandon Compton pitched well, but behind in this game 2-0. Oh, 2 to Snyder. Well, the catch that Yasiel Puig made earlier on this homestand is about the only catch in this ballpark that probably rates with the Snyder grab. Now, in terms of import, I'd still go with Mike Baxter.
Yes.
Just because it helped save a no-hitter. Here's the 1-2. Bounce foul.
The one catch that I can always visualize and I never forget. And it wasn't here, but it was Carlos Beltran's catch in Houston.
Up the hill.
Oh my gosh, that was
it the 16th inning?
Oh, that was a catch that is so rare. I mean, it almost rates right there with Mays' catch in the World Series.
I'll still go with Andy.
Oh, that was another great one. Of course. But all the distance that Carlos ran and then had to run up that, was it the hill? What was it called?
Towles Hill.
Towles Hill. And still keep his balance and make the catch.
And it saved the game.
Yes, it did.
Would have been the game-winning hit had that ball fallen.
Exactly.
I think was it Berkman who hit the ball?
I forget. That was you and I did that game together.
Yeah. It was right before the All-Star break. 16, 17 innings, something like that. 3-2. And he walked him. So DeGrom got ahead on Snyder and lost him. And now at 114 pitches, let's see if his day is done with the top of the batting order coming up.
I don't see any inclination of Terry Collins coming out with the hook.
It's the 4th walk that DeGrom has given up. So he'll get at least one more batter here. Well, here's the catch Snyder made. This was just
that was a terrific catch.
Had the snow cone to boot. Did we figure out who hit the ball?
I forget, but there was a time when the Mets were going bad, and that just was another dagger. That catch right to the heart.
Harrison with a big rip.
Harrison shouldn't be taking big rips.
He came in here a red-hot hitter, but he's gone 0 for 3 today against DeGrom.
This is a hanger right here. Just overswung.
Our buddies in the truck tell us that it was Mike Baxter who hit the ball that
that's
Snyder
right.
caught.
Yep.
So Baxter giveth, Baxter has it taken away. DeGrom pushing forward, 116 pitches now. He had thrown more than 95 in either of his first 2 starts. 0-2 to Harrison. He comes inside. You got Neil Walker on deck, who's a switcher who is a much better power hitter from the left side. And then you got McCutchen behind him. So we'll see what Terry and Dan are thinking. Snyder at first and 1 out. And Harrison goes down on strikes for the 2nd time. 4th strikeout of the day for DeGrom. 2 down in the inning.
High fastball away, and watch Harrison swings up. So when you swing up on that high pitch, you're going to come under it. And there you go.
So 2 out and a runner at first, and DeGrom will try and finish off the inning as he takes on Neil Walker. Walker's 1 for 3, singled back in the 1st inning, flied out and grounded out since.
Next pitch will be his 120th.
Good.
Montero 113 yesterday. DeGrom about to throw number 120 today. And that's below the knees. 2-0 to a dangerous hitter. Walker with 10 home runs this year. 9 of them as a left-hand batter. McCutchen to follow. And you have to figure one way or another this is DeGrom's last batter. And now 3-0.
Not good here. It's going to be his last man if he loses him.
Well, this is the most pitches thrown by a Mets pitcher this year. Zach Wheeler twice at 118. Now DeGrom at 121. And behind on Walker 3-0. And he walked him. And now McCutchen will come up with the tying runs on base. And DeGrom is done. Leaves with a shutout intact, and will put it in the hands of Jeurys Familia to try and get the Mets through this top of the 7th inning. Job well done by DeGrom. His 3rd straight terrific start after he had to tiptoe through the tulips the first 3 innings. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Much with the tying runs on base.
Well, McCutchen, right first ball hitting there. Nice rip his first time up. Drew a walk there. And then beats this one out. It shouldn't have, but he did. That's a base hit. So he's had himself a nice day. And he hustles down that line.
Jeurys Familia, who worked both ends of the doubleheader yesterday, will come in to relieve Jacob DeGrom. 122 pitches, most thrown by a Mets starter this year. And now Familia to McCutchen. And it's low and away for ball 1.
And right-handers against Familia hitting only 136, 6 for 44.
Yesterday had a difficult situation to work out of in the first game. Gave up a leadoff double, but then closed out with a couple of strikeouts. Second game, retired the only 2 hitters he faced. And McCutchen takes a slider for a strike, 1-1.
Well, he's got the good breaking ball, that's for sure. Throws hard. It's a matter of throwing strikes. Only given up 3 runs in his last 16 outings. Got his ERA down to 3.18.
Missed with the slider. 2-1. Action in the Pirates bullpen. Justin Wilson, the left-hander, Jared Hughes, the right-hander, and Tony Watson standing behind them waiting to throw his turn.
You know, two's company, three's a crowd.
2-1 to McCutchen with the tying runs on base. And 3 straight breaking balls, and now he's behind 3-1.
With Mr. Ike Davis in the on-deck circle.
Who I presume would be Scott Rice's responsibility if he comes to bat. So now familiar with a big pitch to make, behind on McCutchen, 3-1.
It's a little
sinker, 3-2.
A little bit different coming in with men on base than it is starting an inning for these relievers. I mean, they've been trained. Now we're kind of getting away from it because of the 100 pitches. You'd always had a guy just working 1 inning, starting the inning. It's a little bit hairier, I guess, for lack of a better word, when men are on base and you're protecting a lead.
In this case, trying to protect what could be Jacob deGrom's first major league win. Well, he has been more effective with runners on base this year. And those runners get set to go. Snyder at second, Walker at first will be in motion. 3-2 to McCutchen. In there, strike 3 call. 3-2 slider, got him looking.
Beauty.
Big out for Jeurys Familia. Now on this Memorial Day, let's go to public address announcer Alex Anthony.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to honor our nation this Memorial Day with the singing of God Bless America, please welcome Manna Nichols, Catherine Bashir, Kimberly Thomas, and Bronson Norris Murphy of the USO Show Troupe.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. My home, sweet home.
For a concert after the Mets Padres game Saturday, June 14th, as part of the Mets concert series presented by Dwayne Reed. Catch 50 Cent live in concert June 14th. Visit Mets.com/concerts. Juan Centeno leads off the home 7th against the new Pirate pitcher Jared Hughes, the 6'7" right-hander. And Centeno grounds one right at the second baseman Walker down to an E. 1 out. Here is Hughes in his 13th game this season.
He has had inherited 10 runners. None have scored. Retired 11 of the first 12 batters he's faced. That's what you like to see.
Chris Young will bat for Jacob deGrom. What an outing by deGrom, or excuse me, batted for Familia, who came on for deGrom. deGrom 6 2/3, no runs, 5 hits, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts through 3 starts. deGrom has a 1.83 earned run average, and in line for his first big league win. Ball and a strike to Chris Young. Young mired in a 7 for 54 slump right now. That's seen his batting average shrink to 204 and is starting to cut into his playing time. Lines that one, and it's caught by Mercer. That shift pays off for the Pirates. 3 infielders on the left side.
And that is something we've seen all year against Chris Young. They play him the pull.
So 2 out and nobody on now. Juan Lagares. Brandon Compton, the Pirates starter, pitched well. 6 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned, 7 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. But he's on the short end. Lagares, a bunt single, reached on an error and walked. And he was awarded a run when the umpires decided that Russell Martin had illegally blocked the plate as Lagares came in to score on an error for the second Met run. Scott Rice will continue to throw along with Jose Valverde in the Mets bullpen. You got the left-hand batters Davis and Alvarez both due up in the 8th. Lagares tries to lay off and does. 1 and 2.
There's just no need for Laz Diaz to ask for help. It was apparent he didn't swing. They just acquiesced to the catcher's request today.
Again, Lagares stops it easily. 2 and 2. Tomorrow night, game 2 of this series. That'll be on Pix 11. John Neese against Edison Volquez. 7 o'clock for the second game of this series. Back on SNY Wednesday afternoon. Lagares yanks it foul.
So Jared Hughes is the big little sinker slider pitcher, standard. Big guy, doesn't throw overly hard. He's just trying to get a ground ball.
It's a nice Memorial Day souvenir. Down to third, backing off as Alvarez has to make the long throw on a hop, and Davis picks it. Stayed on the bag, I guess. And Lagares is out. Mets have a challenge in their pocket, and Terry Collins is going to come out and wait for his video coordinator to take a look at the replay. The call at the plate that was overturned was an umpire's ruling, not a managerial challenge. You saw Bob Guerin said kind of shaky, but a thumbs up.
He's out. Good call. Just got him. So everybody's afraid to be definitive here. A little shaky up.
And they're going to go to a challenge. That's their challenge.
Oh, why not this late? Why not? That's just Garrett, did you bring a little snack pack with you?
Well, I brought a book. Would you like to take a little break?
I'm going to lean back in my chair as we await the call here. I think he's out.
Well,
very close.
It's very close.
One thing's for certain, Ike did not come off the bag.
Well, the ruling on the field was out, so you need clear and convincing evidence to overturn. Now, is that a tie?
Are we going to take a long time on this one, like yesterday?
Well, yesterday we had one over 4 minutes. Today we went well over 3 minutes for the review on the play at the plate. Here's one more look.
You know what it is when you have too many Chiefs.
Boy, I'll tell you, it's awfully close. You could rule that a tie, which, as you know,
goes to the runner.
Goes to the runner.
Too many Chiefs.
The play under review is brought to you by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. Well, Alvarez gave a lot of ground on that ball, which made it a close play.
Nice hustle by Lagares. Let's not forget that. He always hustles down the line. Ike's got to come get the ball more with his arm. Maybe not. No, he's fine.
Now remember, the ball has to be in the back of the glove, not just entering the glove. It has to actually hit the leather in the glove before the foot touches the base. And that's what the umpire review officials are doing back at Major League Baseball Advanced Media in the command center.
Should we get a flower and go, she loves me, she loves me not? He's out, he's safe.
Well, the closer the play, the longer the review. That's what we've seen. And let's see. And
out.
They say out. So
okay.
They do uphold the call. And so the inning comes to an end. It's a standard 5-3 put out in your scorecard and a 1-2-3 inning for Jared Hughes. 7 in the books. Mets 2, Pirates nothing. To all of our service members at home and abroad on this Memorial Day. Gabby Sanchez is going to bat for Ike Davis with a left-hander in the game. Scott Rice comes in to pitch for New York.
Well, 5.06 earned run average, 10 walks and 10 2/3. It's not good. But you see, tough on lefties. He's pretty a specialist, Scott Rice. And Ike on his return, his first day in a Pirate uniform, and at Citi Field, walk, fly ball, and a bullet picked by Mr. Duda. So 0 for 2 for all his work.
Ike is 0 for 15 against left-hand pitching this year, so Clint Hurdle will pull him and send up Gabby Sanchez as a pinch hitter. Sanchez was getting a lot more work at first base before the Pirates acquired Ike, and he takes a slider for a strike from Rice. Sanchez 5 for 17 as a pinch hitter. That's .294, not bad. So it'll be Sanchez, then Russell Martin and Pedro Alvarez for the Pirates in the 7th.
Gabby Sanchez, you thought was going to be one of the big hitters coming up with the Marlins, and had some good years, and then all of a sudden just fell off a cliff.
And he went around in the half swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Very crouched and does not lay off, and that was a swing.
Rice somehow did not pitch in either game of the doubleheader yesterday. That's a miracle, isn't it? Went Saturday, faced 2 batters, a walk and a strikeout. 1-2 to Sanchez, and a high fly ball deep left field. Back goes Granderson onto the warning track, back near the wall, and it's out of here. Gabby Sanchez, a pinch hit home run, puts the Pirates on the board and cuts the Met lead to 2-1. So Clint Hurdle pushed the right button. And the Pirates are on the scoreboard for the first time today.
The manager can only make the moves. The players have got to do it. And Sanchez makes Clint look like manager of the year.
Well, that's what he was last year. 5th home run of the year for Sanchez. And for Scott Rice, the first home run he's allowed this season. So now Russell Martin will be the batter in a 2-1 game. Martin is 0 for 3, and he takes ball 1.
Fastball, oh boy, cutter that didn't cut. Remember, he just tied him up with a cutter before, but that one didn't do anything, and there you have it.
4th career pinch hit home run for Gabby Sanchez. And now Rice behind on Martin, 2-0. Rice staying in because he left the left-hand batting Alvarez on deck as Valverde continues to warm up in the bullpen. And Martin hits it straight away to center, but Lagares should have plenty of room in front of the warning track to grab it for the first out. Let's check in with the studio. Gary Apple standing by for a game break, brought to you by the New York State Smokers Quit Line. The old 6th inning 6-6 rain delay. It's Atlanta.
It's Atlanta.
Let's get rain delays in Atlanta. Here's Pedro Alvarez. It's a nice day at the plate. Single, double, flied out. Jose Valverde staying ready in the bullpen. Probably would be Rice's final batter. Ball 1 to Alvarez. Starling Marte, right-hand batter on deck. Pirates 1 run, 6 hits. The Mets 2 runs and 7 hits. And right now, that call at the plate, where the Mets got the extra run for Martin blocking the plate, is the difference in the game. 2 lefties up in the bullpen. Tony Watson and Justin Wilson.
That's unusual.
1-1 to Alvarez. Sinker 1-2.
Well, Scott Rice is going to have fun with big swingers because they got to start early and they'll tend to swing at bad pitches, as Alvarez did his last pitch.
Now the 1-2. Couldn't get him to bite. 2-2. The Met bullpen needs 5 more outs to help Jacob deGrom get his first big league win. deGrom was awfully resourceful in the early portion of this game.
He pitched out of the first 3 innings. Some pretty tight jams.
Probably the biggest out he got was against Martin in that first inning. Bases loaded, 1 out, full count. And got the double play grounder to get through that inning.
He only had one clean inning, and that was the 6th.
Made it through 6 2/3 through 122 pitches of shutout ball. 2-2. Alvarez bounces one foul.
But those are the things you look for, Gary, when you make evaluations of your players and your pitchers. When everything's not hunky-dory and you've got to struggle out there to find your stuff. How do you pitch out of it? There's the rain delay in Atlanta, and DeGrom passes with flying colors.
2-2 from Rice. Alvarez chops another one foul. Jerry's Familia came out of the bullpen, got one huge out, striking out McCutchen to get the Mets through the 7th, but Rice giving up the solo home run to the pinch hitter Gabby Sanchez to cut the Met lead in half. This is familiar territory for the Pirates. They have played 25 one-run games already this year. It's more than half their game.
Yep.
Murphy to his right, makes a nice backhand pick and throws him out. What a play by Murphy. Spectacular for the second out.
Nice backhand, but the quickness and athleticism to get up and throw a strong throw to get him out. That's the play. Now he does the reverse spin, and his momentum's carrying him away from first base. And he's able to put some mustard on the throw, which was needed to get Alvarez. That's a nice play.
So that helps out Scott Rice, who will take his exit after facing 3 batters. Jose Valverde will try and get the final out in the 8th with the Mets up 2-1. Pitched 2 games yesterday.
21st game.
Starling Marte, the batter, with 2 out and nobody on. Grounds 1 to third. Past the backhand of Wright and down the line. Marte on his way to second. And he is in standing with a double. And now the tying run in scoring position for the Pirates. First pitch thrown by Valverde.
David in. He had it. He had it covered. He just came up too quick. No, it got by him. It was by him. I'm sorry. Late in the game, I prefer to guard the lines, Gary. You know, that's just my philosophy, and a lot of managers today don't abide by that, and Terry Collins is one of them. That's strictly philosophical.
So now Jose Tabata is going to bat for Jordy Mercer. who was 0 for 3 today. Talbot has been battling a hamstring injury and has pretty much lost the right field job to Josh Harrison. Gets a chance to pinch hit here with the tying run in scoring position. So the Mets were hoping, I would think, to get a quick out from Valverde and then send him out there for the 9th as well. We'll see how that all works out now, as he gives up the double to the first man he faces. Each team now with 7 hits. And Talbot at first pitch swinging, fouls off the fastball.
Well, when you're pinch hitting, you've got to swing the bat.
Talbot, his star, has taken a big tumble over the last couple of years. At one point he looked like a fixture in the Pirate outfield, not so much anymore. Still just 25 years old. Hit .282 last year, 6 home runs. And Valverde throws the off-speed pitch inside, 1-1.
Well, Valverde has been throwing more of the splitter. Doesn't quite have the mustard on his fastball that he used to. It's another guy that's bounced around, Clint Barmes.
Lost his starting shortstop job to Mercer, who's being pinch hit for here. And now Barmes on deck to bat for the pitcher. Marte at second and 2 out. Line right field, coming on Abreu, will play it on a hop. Around third and heading home is Marte. The throw by Abreu not in time, and the Pirates tie the game. So Valverde comes in, throws 4 pitches, gives up 2 hits, and the Pirates have drawn even. It's 2-2. And Jacob deGrom's chance for his first big league win goes by the boards.
Well, good hitting by Tabata. Little slider. Goes right with it. Not a bad pitch, just good hitting. Thought Abreu had a shot, but couldn't get there. And once he pulled up and stopped, he lost any momentum to get anything on the throw home. And with 2 outs, I don't believe you're going to throw out Marte. He runs pretty well, as you can see.
So a home run by Gabby Sanchez off Scott Rice. Talbot has RBI single against Jose Valverde, and after deGrom and Familia got the Mets through 7 scoreless innings, the Pirates scored 2 in the 8th to tie it. And now Clint Barmes, the pinch hitter, batting for the pitcher with the go-ahead run at first. So every button that Clint Hurdle has pushed here in the 8th inning has worked out perfectly. Had Sanchez bat for Davis, he hit the home run. Talbot had batted for Mercer, he got the game-tying hit.
Well, you mentioned in between innings, Gary, that Terry had the option to leave Chris Young out in the outfield, take Abreu out for defense,
which he has done in a couple of circumstances where the Mets had the lead.
I still think that Abreu has the better arm. So,
but if you move Granderson to right field, does he catch that ball? I don't know.
That's, you got that. Right. We'll never know.
I mean, the ball was hit awfully hard. There goes the runner. The pitch inside. The throw by Centeno not nearly in time, and Tabata steals the base. And that's a big one. Now the go-ahead run in scoring position.
I'll say it's a big one. Splitter, too. Good one to steal.
Valverde does not like to throw to first base, and base runners tend to take liberties on him, and Tabata did there. So now a base hit could give the Pirates the lead. 1-1 to Barmes. Two and 1. The Med bullpen has been so hot and cold this year. They've had stretches where they've been lights out, and then games like this where they just can't get the big out. Two and 2 to Barmes. Josh Harrison, the leadoff hitter, would be next. Centeno trying to shake it off after getting nailed by that last foul ball. Flexing that left leg. As Diaz, the home plate umpire, giving him time.
Oh, got him on the back of the heel, side of the heel.
2-2. Inside, 3-2. There's nobody up in the Mets bullpen. This is all on Valverde to try and get through this inning. He came in with 2 out and nobody on. Marte bounced a double past Wright's glove, and then Tabata singled in the tying run, then stole second. Now it's 3-2 on Barmes. Abreu there. Side retired, but not before the Pirates get the game even. Gabby Sanchez is a pinch hitter, gets the Pirates on the board against Scott Rice. Jose Tabata as a pinch hitter drives in the tying run against Valverde. 2-2 going to the bottom of the 8th. City. City is bringing one local restaurant to New York's Field, City Field. Vote for your favorite at Mets.com/citycallups. By Chrysler, visit your local dealer today for great deals on the entire stylish lineup, including the Chrysler 200. And by Aquafina, visit MLB.com/Aquafina and take the pledge to drink up. Changes for the Pirates. Gabby Sanchez will stay in at first base. Clint Barmes will stay in at shortstop. And the new pitcher, Tony Watson, will hit 8th. Comes in to face Daniel Murphy, who takes ball 1.
Hard throwing Watson, not to be confused with the good doctor from London.
That's right, Sherlock. And Watson fires outside. 2-0 to Murphy. Wright and Granderson to follow, as the Mets try to fight back in the bottom of the 8th after the Pirates tied it against the Mets bullpen in the top of the inning.
Watson had a really great year last year. 67 appearances.
Big bouncer for Walker to handle, and Murphy retired, 1 away.
Did we tell the folks what a gorgeous day it is here? Just a beautiful day for a game.
First really warm day for a Mets game at Citi Field.
When you texted me yesterday in between doubleheaders and asked me if I wanted to wear polos,
right?
That signifies right there, folks, that it's warm. And we've been wearing ties all year. It's a nice little break to put on the old polos.
Were you shocked?
I was shocked that you had put a question mark. Usually you give orders. Usually an exclamation point.
Try not to be strident. Here's David Wright, who's 0 for 3 today. 2 line drives that were caught.
So we didn't have to put the coat and tie on.
Back to that tomorrow. Well, you're not going to be here tomorrow.
No, I'm off the next 2 days. Folks, you're gonna get sick of me the second half of the season. I got 61 of the last 81 games.
I think that's what people dream of.
I don't understand that.
Right hits one dead central. Back goes McCutchen. And he's there to grab it, 2 out. David's hit 3 balls hard today with nothing to show for it. So the Pirates bullpen has retired all 5 batters to face them. And now Granderson has gone 0 for 3 today. Granderson, after a hot streak, 0 for his last 8. Now facing the left-hander, and he takes a strike from Watson. Nobody throwing in the Mets bullpen, so it looks like Valverde is going back out there for the 9th. Of course, the Mets are a little shy in the bullpen. It's one of the reasons why Jacob deGrom was allowed to throw 122 pitches today. No Mejia after he worked both ends of the doubleheader yesterday. No Daisuke, of course, since he started yesterday and went 6 innings. In tight 2-1, so that leaves only Edgin and Torres behind Valverde.
Well, they're guarding the line, aren't they? Well, Granderson, you have to. He's a dead pull hitter. But still, look at the third baseman. With a dead pull hitter, that's fine. That's close enough to the line.
Well, when Alvarez played off the line early in the game, Granderson tried to bunt his way out.
Yes, he did.
And we've seen a number of teams, starting with the Yankees, play this way against Curtis. Even when they put on the 3 infielders on the right side, they'll leave that third baseman home to take away the bunt. Now Watson behind 3-1. And Curtis gets out in front of one and hits it in the upper deck foul. Drive around the majors brought to you by Honda. Giancarlo Stanton and the Marlins ahead 3-2 going to the 9th over the Nationals. Nate Eovaldi pitched a really good game today for them. Red Sox trying to snap a 10-game losing streak, tied up the Braves 6-6. And the Brewers have pulled in front of the Orioles. There's ball 4. And Granderson is on with a 2-out walk. Only the second walk given up by Pirates pitchers today. And now Abreu's had a very nice day at the plate. Single and double, and the only time he was retired, he hit a bullet to right that was caught.
Wow. So they're playing Abreu. Oh, Abreu doesn't run like he used to. That is not so profound a shift. It's just he's just playing deep.
If Granderson would think about trying to steal a base, he's got 2 this year. And Abreu takes it high for ball 1. Another left-hand hitter, Lucas Duda, on deck. Nobody throwing in the Pirate bullpen, so this is Watson's inning. It left him in to face the right-hand batter, Wright, and David hit it well, but not well enough.
I don't believe Claude Rains is in there.
Just that Pirate P. There's a strike. Abreu didn't think so. 1-1.
Outside corner strike.
There was a time when Curtis Granderson was a big base stealer. Not anymore. Picks his spots. Curtis had as many as 26 stolen bases in a season. One to Abreu. And Watson will check in again.
Well, he's got to keep an eye on him. This would be the time to steal.
Just as we saw Tabata steal the base in the top of the inning. Same situation. 2 out, tying run at first. Go ahead run at first. Now the 1-1, and Abreu pops it up. Walker already out in the outfield, perfectly stationed, and that retires the side. On we go to the 9th on Memorial Day. Mets and Pirates tied at 2. On their phones.
They're here.
Let's answer our Verizon trivia question. The only 3 players to hit 200 home runs for the Pirates, and it's the 3 you would expect: Stargell, Kiner, Clemente. The Pirates on most days wear a commemorative patch for Ralph Kiner, as the Mets do. Josh Harrison tries to bunt his way on. An easy play for David Wright. 1 pitch and 1 out for Valverde in the 9th. Now everybody's wearing special uniforms today, the special camouflage uniforms. So the Pirates don't have their number 4 Ralph Kiner patch on their sleeve, but they'll have it on tomorrow. Whereas Ralph played the vast majority of his career for the Pirates, and that's the patch that the Mets wear on their uniforms.
And that is in celebration of Ralph's life.
It just gives you an idea of the impact that Ralph had in his life, that 2 different teams are wearing patches in commemoration of his great life. Here's Neil Walker, and he takes a strike.
He's left does Josh Edge, and Ralph's left a lasting impression on me. Something that I'm lacking is how to be a gentleman. Ralph was a gentleman.
I think you're making great strides, though.
I have some rough edges. Ralph didn't.
1-1 to Walker.
There's Ralph. And I miss him. You know, you don't think about it. Life goes on, and then a day like today, and you see him, and he just brings back memories.
Well, he graced our booth for all these years and has his name on the door. Mark Melanson gets up in the Pirates bullpen.
It's one of the tougher right-handers in the league out of the bullpen.
Melanson and Grilly, quite a 1-2 at the end of games for Pittsburgh. Riley's been hurt, just got back this weekend, and Lanson's been doing most of the closing. 2-2 now to Walker, who's 1 for 3 and a walk today. Valverde gave up the tying run in the 8th inning, trying to hold the fort here in the 9th. Looks like the fellow in the Pirate cap made a nice grab.
There is a lot of Pirates fans in the stands, a lot of Pirate uniforms. They have a following. I noticed a lot of them have the old sleeveless uniforms. And that was Cleveland, California Angels, Cincinnati, and the Pirates.
Into center field, and that's going to fall for a base hit for Walker, so he's on base for the 3rd time today. And McCutchen will come to the plate with a man on.
Did you like the sleeveless uniforms, Gary?
I could take him or leave him.
I didn't like them with Cleveland.
Cincinnati just seemed right.
Pirates, it seemed right too. I didn't mind the Pirates. I remember as a kid being struck by it when I first saw them because they were just so different. I remember seeing Dick Grote.
McCutchen's been on base 3 times today, 2 singles and a walk. Familia struck him out in a big spot in the 7th. Now Valverde faces him with the go-ahead run on base in the 9th. And comes inside with the first offering. McCutchen 0 for 3 in his career against Valverde. Last year's National League MVP. So many ways to beat you. Wright's going to guard the line at 3rd base against him, with a go-ahead run at first.
Well, I think the reason why Wright is guarding the line is because you've got a split finger pitcher in Valverde, and that's an off-speed pitch. So it's a ball a right-hand hitter is more inclined to pull, Garrett.
Gabby Sanchez, the on-deck batter. 2-0 to McCutchen. And ball 3 sails high. And now Valverde has put himself in a very tight spot.
Do you give this MVP a hit sign?
Why wouldn't you?
I think he's wise enough and is experienced enough to be given that privilege. You're going to look for something middle in.
Swings and fouls it off.
Interesting there how he got beat inside on a 3-0 pitch. When really, if you get a 3-0 pitch, you got to look middle in, unless there's a runner in scoring position.
How about this? 20 times this year now, McCutchen's at a 3-0 count. He has swung at 5 of the 20.
He doesn't feel comfortable, obviously, or he's being selective, ultra selective, as you should be.
And that's ball 4. And now the go-ahead run moves into scoring position. Dan Warthen will come out for a conversation. While he does, we'll have our own interesting conversation in the studio, previewing WB Mason Postgame Live. Gary Apple, Bobby Ojeda, guys. All right, guys, these are the last 2 men available in the Mets bullpen today. Carlos Torres, the right-hander, Josh Edgen, the left-hander. The game plan was when Terry Collins brought Valverde into the game with Mejia unavailable, he wanted Valverde to get a 4-out save. Came in with 2 out and nobody on in the 8th, but it's gone anything but smoothly. Valverde's faced 6 batters. 4 of the 6 have reached. He's given up the tying run and now in danger of giving up the go-ahead run. Gabby Sanchez responsible for the first Pittsburgh run with a home run off Scott Rice in the 8th. We'll try and get Walker home from second.
And Gabby doing what he always does to the Mets. When he was with the Marlins, he always killed the Mets, if you recall, Garrett.
He absolutely did. So 2 on and 1 out, and Sanchez watches low and away. Ball 1. Sanchez came up as a pinch hitter for Ike Davis and cashed in against the left-hander, now getting a chance to face the right-hander. His first ever appearance against Valverde.
Oh, he got a break there. That was not a strike. That was knee-high to a grasshopper. This ball's low. Borderline. I'd want it if I didn't swing.
You'd be hot.
No, I wouldn't be hot. I'd be disco hot.
1-1 to Sanchez. He jammed him and he fouls it off. 1-2.
Speaking of disco hot, David Johansen is performing at the bottom line next Saturday out in Narragansett as Buxter Poindexter.
I preferred him better with the New York Dolls. Johnny Thunders. Those were the days. Sometimes perform with Iggy Pop. Here's the 1-2. Low and inside. 2-2 to Sanchez.
I did say the talk house, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Did you?
I might have said bottom line, which was the old place down
4th Street
by New York. So it's the Stevens Talk House in Narragansett. Excuse me. Losing my mind.
It's a common problem. 2-2 to Gabby Sanchez. He pops one up from foul ground. Back comes Santano for a look, but it's into the second row.
Completely lost his bat. The bat boy's left. I think the bat boy had to do the old Fred Astaire there.
Need a little more pine tar.
That's we'll see. Oh my gosh!
He did not react well.
He didn't see it coming. He was daydreaming.
Can't fall asleep out there.
That's like when the teacher calls your name and you're out in orbit somewhere and you're like, huh?
It's only the same if the teacher then throws the ruler at you. Again, the 2-2 from Valverde. Hitch toward the hole, base hit. Around third is Walker being waved home. The throw to the plate by Granderson. Not in time. It gets away. Here comes McCutchen. And McCutchen will score. 2 runs come home on the play. All the way to third goes Sanchez. And the Pirates lead it 4-2. Sanchez comes through again. Gets the go-ahead hit. And the Mets throw it around for another run.
Well, Granderson not the strongest of arms. And he's in tight. Look at that. Taking the chance. Nick Leyva throws offline. Look at Valverde not backing up. Not backing up properly. And there you go. And Sanchez hustling all the way to third base. Here's the play at the plate. There's the non-backup.
It'll be a single, 1 RBI, an error on Granderson, allowing the second run to score and allowing Sanchez to go all the way to third. Mets will make a double switch. Matt Dendecker, just called up today, will come into the outfield, and Valverde will exit. Ricky Bonas wants to know if they want the righty or the lefty. It'll be the righty, Carlos Torres. Bullpen meltdown. Mets down 4-2 in the 9th.
Sees that it gets through. He's backing up, but he's in the wrong spot. He's got to be behind. Look, he's right. You can dance with the catcher. Get behind and you put the catcher between the ball and yourself.
So instead of 1 run scoring, 2 runs score.
So
Matt Dendecker comes in to play right field, batting 9th. Carlos Torres in to pitch to Russell Martin with the infield in. Torres worked in the 2nd game yesterday, worked a scoreless inning. Just trying to put a plug in the damage here. Mets at a 2-0 lead going to the 8th. A 2-1 lead when Valverde came in with 2 out and nobody on in the 8th, and now it's 4-2 Pittsburgh. And now it's 2-0 to Martin, who's 0 for 4 today.
And it's a big run to drive in right here.
So Valverde faced 7 batters in 2/3 of an inning and retired 2 of the 7. Big cut by Martin, 2-1.
Too big a cut. You need a sacrifice fly here. Don't need to be swinging from your shoes. Look at that. It's just, come on. Be smart.
Sanchez at 3rd with 1 out. 2 runs home here in this 9th. The Pirates have taken a 4-2 lead. And now it's 3-1 to Martin with Pedro Alvarez on deck. In the bottom of the 9th, the Mets will have Duda, Flores, and Centeno. Mark Melanson's been getting ready in the Pittsburgh bullpen. Martin chases the cutter, and it's 3-2.
Well, you got to go the other way now.
Andrew McCutchen on base 4 times today, coming home all the way from first base on that single and then miscue.
Pirate pinch hitters.
Little dribbler that'll trickle foul.
As I was stating, Pirate pinch hitters. There's been 4, 2 for 3, home run, 2 ribeye steaks, and a walk. Been productive, the bench.
Well, Sanchez had a home run as a pinch hitter, stayed in, and then got the go-ahead hit.
But that doesn't count as a pinch hit. The first one does, correct?
But that's excellent utilization of personnel, wouldn't you say?
Yes, it's been. They've executed.
Final in Washington, the Marlins beat the Nats 3-2 behind Ned Eovaldi. Martin again stays alive. So Miami is now 2 games over 500 and Washington a game under 500. So far, you'd have to say it's another disappointing first half for the Nats.
All I do is look at the standings and see teams that are at 500.
Eighth pitch of the at bat from Torres, and Martin fouls off another one. Carlos Torres, the workhorse of the Mets bullpen. Ninth pitch of the at bat to Martin, and he hits it out to center. That'll get a run in at least. Lagares way back, twisting on the warning track, and he can't get to it. Sanchez trots in to score. Russell Martin a 400-foot double, and it's 5-2 Pittsburgh.
Now I know this is a big ballpark and all, but Lagares had to be playing way shallow for this ball. This was a high fly, and particularly with the way he covers ground, I'm surprised that he wasn't able to pull it, and he was shallow. You know, Russell's got some power. So this whole inning is just blown up.
All 3 runs in the inning charged to Valverde. He's been charged with 4 of the 5. And the Mets now in a 3-run hold. They'll intentionally walk the left-hand batter Alvarez and get to Starling Marte. Still only 1 out in the inning. Well, this was a gem of a game for 7 innings for the Mets, with Jacob deGrom having been pushed to 122 pitches, 6 2/3 scoreless innings. Mets got the benefit of a call at home plate because of the new plate blocking rule. They had a 2-0 lead, and then it got in the hands of the Mets bullpen, and it has completely fallen apart. And DeGrom could only watch as the potential first big league win of his career slithered away. It's had a horrible loss in the first game of the doubleheader yesterday, hitting into 5 double plays, making a bad error in the 9th inning. This one completely on the bullpen. First Rice giving up the home run to Sanchez, and then Valverde just unable to get anybody out. Here's Marte, who got the whole thing started against Valverde with the double over the third base bag back in the 8th.
So those runs to Valverde are all earned because of the double, correct?
Yes, they are. Marte chases one out of the strike zone, 0-2. Marte 1 for 3 and a walk today. Pirates now have 16 RBIs from their pinch hitters this year. That's the most in the major leagues. And they've been a big part of this comeback. 2 in the 8th and 3 in the 9th.
Boy,
Torres strikes out Marte for the second out.
Boy, that was some ugly hacks from Marte. He didn't have a prayer. Just totally overmatched.
Now the pitcher Tony Watson is going to take the turn at bat. The only man left on the bench for Clint Hurdle is his backup catcher Chris Stewart, so he'll keep him where he is and use Watson to bat. Watson the 8th man up in the inning. For Tony Watson, 3 career at bats, looking for his first big league hit.
This is what I'm talking about, carrying 11 pitchers and having that extra guy, because you got the last guy on the bench for Clint Hurdle is his catcher, and you've only got one catcher. You can't spend him, because if he gets hurt, who's going to catch? I like the good old days when you had 3 catchers. One could hit and was a butcher. The other one couldn't hit and was good defensively.
Well, I'll tell you my solution again. I'd like to add 2 players to the roster, make it 27, and take away the DH. That would be the trade-off for the Players Association. They'd lose the DH, but they gain 60 roster spots, and that way everybody could have a little more substantial bench.
The only issue with me there is the game is diluted enough. You're going to have 60 players that should be in AAA. Should have no business having a big league uniform on.
And where are you getting your third catchers from?
I understand.
2-2. Watson slashes one through the hole for his first big league hit. Falling down around third base is Martin, but he gets back safely. Martin was not expecting to be stopped by Nick Leyva, and when he did, he came sliding to a stop.
Well, I think Leyva, they got the lead, and Martin really on that double didn't run very hard when it was an automatic double. I think he's got that tender hamstring, just playing it safe.
Did they get the ball for Watson for his first big league hit? Now Clint Barmes with the bases loaded. Barmes, the 9th man to bat in the inning, flied out as a pinch hitter in the 8th. Martin is at third. Alvarez now at second, and Watson in unfamiliar territory on first. Clint Hurdle trying to figure out who's going to pitch the 9th inning. Will he bring in his closer or stick with Watson, who just took the turn at bat? Melanson ready if needed. Knee high strike to Barmes, 0-2.
What a disaster inning this has been.
Last 2 innings. Torres trying to finally put an end to it, but he misses wide to Barmes. 1-2. Well, Familia, the only Met reliever to get the job done today, retired his only batter, and that was McCutchen, with a couple of men on in the 7th. I use sunscreen on a sunny day.
I never put that stuff on. Get your hands all oily. You need to have your hands be sticky.
Wash your hands after you put it on. Barmes lifts one to shallow center, and Lagares is right there. Side retired, but an ugly inning for the Mets bullpen. Jose Valverde gets tattooed. Gabby Sanchez with the go-ahead hit. Valverde fails to back up properly. That cost another run. 5-2 Pittsburgh in the 9th. Brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Time for the AT&T fan photo of the day. It comes to us from Carvel, and that couldn't be any cuter.
That's sweet. Very nice.
Get them started early.
I like that.
Mark Melanson will come in for the save opportunity for the Pirates.
Well, this guy is one of the best year in, year out. Look at his numbers. 5 walks, throws strikes. Look at the lefties. He's what they call that when the Jerry Manuel days? They crossover pitchers.
Well, he's got the good cutter that he learned from Mariano Rivera, and Duda cranks one to deep right center field. Back near the wall goes Harrison, and it's out of here. Lucas Duda leads off the last of the 9th with his 6th home run of the year to get the Mets a little closer. 5-3 Pittsburgh.
Number 6 for Lucas.
Second hit of the day for Duda. 6 home runs on the year. 1 big swing.
Oh, a little fastball right down Broadway. Upstairs.
Now Wilmer Flores, and he hits one in the air to right center. This one's playable for Harrison. And that's the first out. Mark Melanson had gone 86 innings since April 14th of last season, since he gave up his last home run. It's the longest current streak in the major leagues, and Duda just ended it with that leadoff home run.
I'm sure he won't lose any sleep over it.
If it had been a one-run game, he might have. But
yeah.
a three-run game, you want to challenge people.
Absolutely. And Dendecker in the on-deck circle. That's right.
Decker came in on the double switch. He's batting ninth behind Santana, who's 0 for 3 today. And takes a curveball for a strike. And it's 0-2. Lance has started out his career with the Yankees. Didn't enjoy much success there. Went to Houston, Boston, but really has found his niche with the Pirates the last 2 years. Lance now 29 years old. Last year was in 72 games, part of the best 1-2 bullpen punch in the league with Jason Grilli. Pitched to a 1.39 ERA with a whip. Walks and hits per innings pitched under 1. Doesn't happen very often.
It was the bullpen that was the strength of Pittsburgh last year.
1-2 to Centeno, and the curveball struck him out. And the Mets are down to their final out of the afternoon.
Big 12-6 here.
So Matt Dendecker will get his first big league at bat of the season. Is called up today with Eric Young going on the disabled list with a hamstring issue. Dendecker had 58 at bats with the Mets last year and hit .207. Was not exactly tearing it up at Vegas this year, but he was swinging the bat better than Kirk Nieuwenhuis, which is why he got the call, hitting a .269 in AAA. And he takes a knee-high strike from Melanson. Dendecker trying to get aboard for Lagares. This would be a very, very ugly loss for the Mets today.
There's been a lot of them lately.
And now the Mets are down to their final strike. Now, kudos to Jacob deGrom. He did a fantastic job today. Was pushed further than any Mets starter had been this year. Under 22 pitches, didn't allow a run. Lowered his ERA to 1.83, but still without a big league win. 0-2 from Melanson to Dendecker, and he struck him out, and the ball game is over. So the Pirates rally for 5 runs in the last 2 innings against the Mets bullpen, put a hurting on Jose Valverde, and Pittsburgh wins the opening game of the series, and Ike Davis has returned to Flushing. 5-3, the Pirates win it.
Well, the Mets had a 2-0 lead. They got 2 runs in the 5th inning. Murphy with an RBI single, and then the back runner Lagares scoring on a throwing error. But the bullpen just didn't get it done today. Valverde and Rice gave up a home run. Valverde came in and really gave it up, gave up 4 runs. So another tough loss for the Metsies, and a big win for the Pirates, who were trying to get on a bit of a roll.
Well, the Pirates have won 5 of their last 6. Mets have now lost 9 of their last 12. And there's your accurate game summary. Watson, 5 wins in relief, matches Gene Machi of the Giants for the most in the major leagues. Gabby Sanchez off the bench had the home run for the first Pirate run and the go-ahead hit in the 9th inning as Pittsburgh wins it 5-3. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Hyundai, who leaves the rest wanting. Find out why by visiting Hyundai.com today. By Geico. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Pittsburgh 5, Mets 3 the final. Dropping the Mets 6 games under 500. Game 2 of the series tomorrow night. That'll be on Pix 11. John Neese against Edison Volquez. 7 o'clock the game time. Then back on SNY Wednesday afternoon for the final game of the homestand. Bartolo Colon against Charlie Morton. Coverage begins Wednesday at 12:30. Now for Keith Hernandez, Kevin Burkhardt, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. Time for WB Mason Postgame Live. Gary Apple, Bobby Ojeda.